everyone, I'm Rob Paris for B News Sports, and welcome to another edition of Red Devil Classics, where we take a look back at some of the finest moments from past seasons of BHS varsity football. This week we're going all the way back to 1992, where the Red Devils took on the Stoneham Spartans. For an inside look on this game, we turn over to fellow B News Sports reporter, Phil Acaro.
Thanks, Rob. Burlington was towards the bottom of the Middlesex League for much of the 80s and early 90s. With rookie head coach Shawn Maguire at the helm, Burlington faced a stacked Stoneham team that was predicted to reach the Super Bowl that year. Under quarterback Dan Hannafin, the Red Devils managed to pull a major upset against the Spartans. Stoneham did not recover and finished in the middle of the pack in the Middlesex League. This marked a turning point in program history and was only just the beginning for Maguire. He turned Burlington into a successful team, with only a handful of losing seasons with him at the helm. Dan Brothers' call of Hannafin's final touchdown in the game's dying seconds was highlighted by SportsCenter 5's Mike Lynch. Hannafin would continue to play football at Boston University before the program was shut down in his senior season. Now, let's go back to October 23rd, 1992, and join Dan Brothers and Gordon Vincent at Varsity Field as the Burlington Red Devils take on the Stoneham Spartans.
Good evening and welcome, everybody. Burlington Cable Access Television presents Burlington High School football. Tonight, the Red Devils of Burlington get set to kick off against the Stoneham Spartans in a game where Burlington looks like to be a decided underdog, coming into the game at 1-4, 1-3 overall in the Middlesex League. Stoneham enters the game with a 5-0 record, and Gordon Vincent joins me from the Daily Times Chronicle. We were supposed to have Doug Hastings with us, but he must be lost between the soccer field and the football field, wherever that may be. But Gordon, you've had a chance to talk with your colleagues, and this is a pretty good Stoneham football team, and barring a big game in Week 8 against Melrose, this team seems destined for a Middlesex League showdown on Thanksgiving against Reading.
Well, it certainly appears to be that way, but as you know, in the Middlesex League, Dan, you really can't take anything for granted, which is kind of what Burlington has to hope for tonight, that Stoneham may be looking towards that Melrose game. Not that Burlington isn't a fine club, mind you, but Stoneham outweighs them by about 40 to 45 pounds on the offensive and defensive line, so certainly that portion of the game, the Red Devils will have their work cut out for them this evening.
Stoneham comes in. Of course, Gordon mentioned the size of their offensive line, averaging 235 tackles from tight end to tackle. They're a team that will primarily run the ball, as it shows with their leading receiver, Kevin Cunningham, only has 7 catches thus far in 5 games, but he has averaged 28.6 yards on those catches. Burlington comes in after a tough loss last week, 26-12 to Reading, and for Burlington folks, it was the same story. A good effort, but not enough on the offensive or defensive side to pull the victory through.
Well, certainly the effort was there, particularly in the fourth quarter against a really good Reading team, frankly. And they'll need the same type of effort tonight, limit the mistakes. The penalties, they only had 1 last week, only 1 lost fumble, but a couple of miscommunications, and that's all it takes against a team like a Reading or a Stoneham or a Melrose.
It's a beautiful night for football. Temperature in the mid-50s, and Burlington has won the toss. They will receive, defending the goal to our left, the north goal. Back deep for Burlington will be number 23, Matty Bryan, and number 33, Adam Lawrence. Hailing the kicking for Stoneham tonight will be number 12, Jason Flynn. I believe he's their quarterback also, 5'8", 141 pounds. He hides behind their big center. And we'll get to more of those people. Correction is Mike Lehman will play quarterback. And I remember during the early part of the season we were seeing some of the highlights, and truly they have to hide behind their center because it is a big offensive line. Correction is going to be number 16, Alex Ambrose, teeing the ball up. And we're just about ready to go from Varsity Field in Burlington. Ambrose has the ball on the tee. Back deep for Burlington, Lawrence, and the ball is in the air, and we're all set to go. Coming down to Bryant at the 15, 20, 25, up to the 30, finds a seam, 35, 40. He's got one man to beat, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 5, 10, touchdown! Matty Bryant takes the opening kickoff, 85 yards, and Gordon, that's something that we saw last week. As Billy Tucker did the trick to Burlington last week, Matty Bryan goes 85 yards for a touchdown.
Well, they've been looking for that from Matty Bryan all year. They've been looking for the big play. He showed it during the preseason. He just got a seam runner right up the gut, and I'm sure that Stoneham is shocked right now that Matty Bryan would run the kickoff back 85 yards.
It's been a long time since Stoneham has been trailing in a game. It's been a long time. I don't think they've trailed all season. Now the first test for Stoneham will be to see if they can come back from an early deficit. 85 yards, Matty Bryan with the opening kickoff. The Red Devils sideline is ecstatic. The fans are going absolutely crazy. It's an exciting type of play, and Shawn Maguire talked about the speed that Matty Bryan has. Danny Hannafin will attempt the point after out of the hold of Ian Bishop. The fans are on their feet, just 11 seconds in the game. The kick is up, and it looks wide to the left. It is no good, but as the teams come back upfield, Burlington has an early 6-0 lead on the strength of an 85-yard touchdown kickoff return by Matty Bryan. Boy, that'll get the fans in their seat quickly.
Well, it's too bad that some of them missed it. There's a big traffic jam up on 128 tonight, and the crowd is a little bit late arriving, and there's just a handful of Stoneham fans here, and
I know,
basically
Gordon,
they're sitting down in disbelief right now.
I know, Gordon, that you have that trip down 128 all the time. There's always a traffic jam on 128.
On a Friday afternoon, it's a pretty tough ride, Dan.
So Joe Dillon will put his defense to the test early. As you hear the Burlington High School band in the background. Just a correction from our Red Devil Sports Center show last Monday evening. We reported that Michelle Clement had torn ligaments in her ankles, but upon further review and further x-ray, Michelle was found to have fractured her ankle as well as torn the ligaments last Saturday in that game against Reading as she did a jump. The referee's errant throw, she came down on it and did a pretty good job on her right ankle. So Burlington will be kicking off. Danny Hannafin looks to be teeing the ball up. Back deep for Stoneham is number 15, Kevin Cunningham. He's one of their big play guys. Of course, averaging 28.5 yards per catch. He also handles the kickoff returns for them tonight. Danny Hannafin has the ball on the tee. The officials have given the signal.
Not to be the bearer of bad news here, Dan, but this isn't the first time Stoneham's been behind. They fell behind in their first game against Swampscott, and then they fell behind in the much talked about Woburn game, so we'll see what they're made of again.
Here's Hannafin. He puts his foot in the ball at the 40-yard line. Good kick. Coming down to Cunningham at the 13, to the 15, 20, going to the right side. Up the middle of the field. Looks a little bit like Bryan's run, but he's tackled by a swarm of Burlington defenders. Number 68, number 53, Teddy Peters, along with 52 from Burlington.
And there's a fumble on the play, perhaps.
Mark Stratty. We have a fumble on the play, first spotted by our man Gordon Vincent. We have yet to see a signal by the official, and it will be Stoneham ball, it looks like, first down and 10. So Stoneham comes out. They'll have, of course, their big offensive line from tackle to tackle to lead them tonight. Their quarterback, as we reported earlier, will be number 11, Mark Lehman. He'll have in the backfield number 48, George Zaharopoulos, a fine football player. We'll talk a lot about him tonight. And his tailback will be Charles Ambrose. They're in a power I formation. Lehman calling signals at the full line. Here's on the left side, Zaharopoulos, nothing. The Burlington defense survives the first test. 44, Jason Cooper, coming down the line from his defensive end position to make the tackle.
As you can probably see on the field, Dan, that kickoff return has just done so much for Burlington's confidence factor. They've come out sky high so far. Zaharopoulos got less than a yard on that play.
So it's a gain of about 1 second down to 9. Again, power I formation. 32, Ambrose is the deep back. Zaharopoulos up front. The give is to Ambrose. Off the right side, looking for help. He's found a seam. Headed down the sideline, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 5, 10, touchdown. And as quick as Burlington struck pay dirt by returning the opening kickoff, Ambrose takes the second play from scrimmage for Stoneham and goes 69 yards for 69 yards for a touchdown, and Stoneham has tied the football game 6-6.
Well, at this pace, Dan, I think the final score is going to be about 96-93. I don't know who's going to come out on top.
BYU football lives in the East. On to attempt the extra point for Stoneham will be number 82, it looks like. Correction, that looks like number 80. We can't tell his number from here. It's number 86. Tri-captain Mark Sullivan, Orion Sullivan, and the kick is up and good. So as the teams come back upfield, 13 points in 58 seconds. Burlington scoring only 6 of them, and Stoneham getting the extra point for their 7th point. So with 9:02 left, we've got a 7-6 ball game in favor of Stoneham.
A lot of action in the first minute. As you can see, Stoneham came right out, powered right off the ball, went right up the middle, and that's what they'll do all game. I'm not sure that they'll have the same kind of success throughout, but that's their basic game plan. Take Ambro, take Zaharopoulos right up the middle. And as you mentioned earlier, Dan, Zaharopoulos is a terrific athlete.
You know, there's no secret to what Al Lanning plans to do ever. He attempts very, very few passes. He has a bunch of guys up front who can block, and Burlington's job will be to penetrate that line and make big plays as Jason Cooper did on the opening drive. So teeing the ball up for Stoneham again is number 16. Alex Ambro, must be the brother of the other Ambro who runs tailback. Back deep once again for Burlington. 23, Matty Bryan. 33, Adam Lawrence. Can lightning strike twice for the Stoneham Spartans? We shall see. Ambro puts his foot into the ball. It comes down over on the right side again, about the 18-yard line for Bryan. Through the middle. Tries to break a tackle, and he's brought down over the 34 to the 35-yard line, where the Red Devils offense will take over first down and 10. They'll be led tonight by quarterback Dan Hannafin, as they are every week. Hannafin coming in, having completed 39% of his passes for 518 yards, an offense that just recently last week, Gordy, had a good day running the football, which is a plus for them.
Well, Coach Dillon has made no mistake about the fact that he wants to mix the ball up, mix the run and the pass up a little bit more. They've been a little bit too top-heavy with the pass, so that was a good sign last week, Dan.
Stoneham in a professional type 4-3 defense. Hannafin has a single setback is Lawrence running to the right side, gets a nice block from 77. That's Kevin Fitzgerald, and he got out over the 40 to the 41-yard line. Gaining about 6, it'll be second down and 4. Making the hit for Stoneham, number 15, Kevin Cunningham.
You mentioned Kevin Fitzgerald, Dan. He's really had a fantastic year. He's been consistent. You saw him get outside on that play and really lead the interference. He's been a fine pulling offensive lineman, as well as a good stand-up pass blocker. Lawrence
gained 4. It'll be second down and 4. Correction, he gained 6. They now shift. McGowan, the tight end, comes to the left side, as does the fullback Coopers. Lawrence, the lone setback. Quick pitch to the left side. They want to exploit the speed. Adam Lawrence now gets a nice block by Mark LeBlanc, and he picks up another 15 yards in his Stoneham territory at the Stoneham 44-yard line. Burlington's first down of the ball game. Making the tackle over there for Stoneham looks to be number 21, Junior McPherson, the leading tackler amongst the Spartans with 32. And if your cornerbacks and defensive backs are making the majority of your tackles early in the game, that means the opposing team offensive line in Burlington is controlling that line of scrimmage early. So Hannafin has them out now again. LeBlanc is to the right. Now they shift. He comes tight. Cooper's a slot back right. Bishop to far right. The quick pitch again to Lawrence. They seem to like this play. Cunningham comes up and misses him. Adam breaks the tackle down to the 30, and he's bumped out of bounds by number 19, Richie Curran. That's not after Lawrence has gained another 14 yards and earned another Burlington first down.
Well, as they say, Dan, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I hate to use that horrible cliche, but 3 straight pitch outs. They've worked all 3 times. Adams averaged about 11 yards a carry on his first 3 here.
He actually gained 15. He's down to the 29-yard line of Stoneham. First down and 10. They come out in the same type formation. LeBlanc is a slot left. Bishop also to the left. McGowan, the tight end, now on the left side. Burlington going to match power football with power football. The same play 4 times in a row. Lawrence looking to gain yards, and this time Stoneham came up to stop it with all their horses, led there by number 85. Josh Mankey, he's one of their big studs. He's a tight end on offense, a defensive end on defense. Lawrence looked to have gained about a half a yard. It'll be second down and 9. So I guess if it isn't broke, you don't fix it, as Red Auerbach once said. And it seems that 4 times they went to the well, and on the 5th time, Burlington had some problems. 6:45, clock running here, first quarter. They break the huddle. It's Bishop and LeBlanc to the right. Hannafin puts them in a shift again, the same type of formation. Tight end McGowan on the right side. Hannafin now, straight back to pass, throwing over the middle to Bishop, and that's just off his hands. and incomplete as he was hit late there by number 19, Curran, but no flag on the play. So on the incomplete pass, it'll be 3rd down and 9. Burlington at the Stoneham 29-yard line.
Interesting choice of plays right there, Dan. I think they could have probably run the ball one more time, maybe establish a little more confidence. Then maybe Stoneham would be sneaking up on for the pass if they were successful on that play. But of course, you don't want to get in a situation where you're 3rd and 6, try and complete the pass. So either way, I guess it worked out all right. We'll see if it works out all right.
They break the huddle. Ian Bishop, of course, one of the leading pass catchers in the Middlesex League. He's caught 25 of Hannafin's 43 this year, averaging 12.8 a catch. Hannafin now in the quick pitch to Lawrence. Stoneham's right there stuffing it. Lawrence steps inside and looks to gain about 3 yards to the 26. It'll bring up a 4th down and 7. Making the hit for Stoneham, number 48, the man we talked about earlier, George Zaharopoulos.
I think they may want to go for it here, Dan. You're 4th down and 7, but you're not in really a position where you want to punt because if you punt it in the end zone, it's just a 7-yard pickup. So they'll go for it. We're in 4-down territory here. Aggressive play calling by Coach Dillon, who's going to call a timeout.
Coach Dillon wants a timeout now. Coach Shawn Maguire is not too happy. It seems that he was trying to get some plays into the game, and somewhere along the line there was a miscommunication. And there's Danny Hannafin now speaking to the Red Devil brass, Joe Dillon and Shawn Maguire. Some of the other gentlemen joined them. Matty Flash Gordon, the backup quarterback. You can see him on the left side of your screen. It's 5:54 left. The last 5 minutes have been a little bit slow. Excuse me, the last 3 minutes have been a little bit slower than the first 52 seconds of this ball game, because I'll tell you, 13 points in less than a minute. This game was off to a real fast pace.
Well, it had to slow down a little bit, Dan.
Gordon's pen doesn't write that fast. And if he had to write 60 points for each team, he may run out of ink, too. We'd like to just say that the field, again, is in tremendous condition. Doug Gillingham, the supervisor, and James Marchese, the Director of Recreation Maintenance, have once again done a fine job, and not only keeping it in good shape, but decorating it as well. The BHS 92 in the middle of the field, along with the Burlington in either end zones. We have a full house in the press box tonight, as we do all the time here in Burlington. Burlington's back on the field. It's going to be 4th down and 7. The ball rests on the Stoneham 27-yard line. I mean, let me tell you, this number 75 from Stoneham, Rich Kirk, is 258 pounds, and he is one big boy. So it's 4th down. Hannafin has the backs shift. McGowan comes to the right side. He's the tight end. He may be a good target on this play. McGowan backs to pass, or Hannafin back to pass. 4th down, throws over the middle, and the ball is intercepted by number 24 for Stoneham, Tim Flaherty. And if you're going to miss, you might as well miss long. And a play like that, Gordon, that's a little bit better than a punt.
Well, that worked out just fine for him. I think if Coach Laney had it to do over again, he would have had his defender knock it down. So Burlington gets a pretty good deal out of it, though they didn't pick up the 1st down.
So Stoneham will take over on the interception by Flaherty. 1st down and 10. The ball will be on their own 8-yard line. They break the huddle again with a power I formation. 86 for Stoneham is the 3rd man in the backfield. That's Ryan Sullivan. On 1st down, they give it to Zaharopoulos, right side, and he gets nothing. Chased down there by 44 for Burlington, Jason Cooper, along with 72, Big Mike Holliday. Zaharopoulos picked up about 1 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
These are 2 huge plays right here. If Burlington stops, they'll get good. Stops them on 3 and out, they'll get good field position right here.
Stoneham breaks the huddle. They send Tim Flaherty to the left. I formation. Ambrose is a setback. To give to 86, it's Sullivan. It looks like correction. The Burlington, it may have been a fumble on the play. Lehman didn't get the snap from his big offensive center. And they end up actually losing a yard in the play. It'll be 3rd down and 10. In the middle of the Burlington pack there was number 72, once again, Big Mike Holliday. So on 3rd down and 10, Joe Dillon sends in his nickel package, sending in number 42, Rich Mounsey, and number 52, Mark Stratty into the game to join a couple other of those fast young defensive backs they have. We'll get to the Red Devils defense, a couple of more of those plays in a moment. 3rd down and a little bit over 10. I formation, Zaharopoulos gets the call off right tackle. A big hole, and he gets out over the 20-yard line to about the 21, and it'll be just enough for a 1st down. Mark Gato came up with the football, pleading his case to the officials, but to no avail. So it's Stoneham's first down of the game outside of their 69-yard touchdown run, which I guess you don't call a 1st down. And they've moved the ball now out of danger zone, out over the 20-yard line. 1st down and 10. 4:17 left. The clock is rolling. Lehman has a straight I formation. Sullivan's to the right. Lehman now on the deep handball to Ambrose. He's taken down on a nice tackle by number 33, Adam Lawrence, up from his cornerback position to make the hit.
Shows you what kind of confidence that Coach Lonnie has in his running game. He goes for it, a simple play up the middle on 3rd and 9. Where it picked up the 1st down, you won't see him put the ball much up in the air much.
The Burlington defense awaits the 2nd and 9 play of Stoneham. Flaherty now is out to the left. Here's number 32, Ambrose. They're in trouble. Number 25, LeBlanc makes a chase. Gato takes him down out of bounds, but not after Ambrose gained about 19 out to the 39 of Burlington, and another Stoneham 1st down. Like I said, Mark Gato, number 61 for Burlington, their leading tackler, and the leading tackler in the Middlesex Football League with 45 tackles to his credit, makes the tackle. A lot of tackles in that statement. Woo!
Nice move by Ambrose to step away from LeBlanc right there. Just cut inside. Good pursuit by Gato, who's done that all year.
So Stoneham comes out 1st down and 10. Lehman hiding behind his center. The give is to Zaharopoulos up the middle. He's hit. He bounces off to the right, and he's taken down this time by Burlington's number. We missed the number. He's down at the bottom of the top pile. Number 74, John Urquhart. But it was Mike Holliday who had the early hit on him, but couldn't wrap his arms and take him down. Zaharopoulos bounced off and gained 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5.
Mike D'Agostino also got a lick in there, and Zaharopoulos, who's got a very low center of gravity for a kid that's about 5'11", just bounced right off.
5'7", 190 to be official. And that's program weight and
Gave him
height.
too much credit, I guess.
Looks a lot taller when we're down the field. Here's Lehman now to Ambrose. Ambrose on the right side, chased by Hannafin. Hannafin will drag him down, but not after Ambrose picks up another 10 yards and a 1st down into Burlington territory at the Red Devil 45. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Spartans.
This is just textbook right here, textbook power I. Everything in between the tackles. Ambrose gets outside, and he's got nothing but secondary people to look at him. Dan Hannafin, a nice tackle. He made quite a few last week in the Reading game as well.
Not a good sign if you coach Joe Dillon, the defensive backs making those tackles.
No, you want your linebackers to make all your tackles.
So Stoneham again, straight I formation. Zaharopoulos straight up the middle. Low center of gravity, and he's brought down after he picks up about 8. 74. Urquhart, 15. Hannafin makes the hit, and once again, Mark Gato comes up with the football. And Gato must have a knack here for pulling the football out of runners' hands. Unfortunately for Burlington, he's doing it a little bit after the whistle.
Well, Stoneham's holding the ball rather loosely, so maybe if things work out a little bit better for Burlington, they get one of those before the official whistles it dead.
Here's a fake now. Oh, he's wide open. He's wide open. The ball down the middle of the field to Cunningham. Touchdown. Lehman went back on the play action fake and let it fly right down the middle of the field as Kevin Cunningham beat Ian Bishop on a post pattern, and Stoneham has quickly struck again with a 36-yard touchdown pass from Lehman to Cunningham, and they go ahead 13-6. And for a team who doesn't throw the ball too much, that was a fine pass by Lehman.
Well, that was the same thing that that Lehman did to Winchester. Two deep patterns to deep passes to Cunningham accounted for 14 of their points and really took Winchester out of the game. He actually had 2 receivers he could have hit on. He also could have hit Sullivan a little bit shorter over on the right-hand side of the field.
Sullivan was wide open. Sullivan's now going to attempt the extra point out of the hold of Lehman. The kick is up, and it is good. So as the teams come back upfield at Burlington High School, at Varsity Field, number 60 from Burlington down on the field there is Teddy Peters. He's a little fired up about something. He's not too pleased with some of the antics that have been happening on the offensive and defensive lines, and Coach Joe Dillon is quick to say something to him as he comes over to the sideline about controlling his temper. So as the teams come back upfield, it's 14-6, 1:44 left here in the first quarter.
Well, so far, Stoneham's thrown a little wrinkle. I'm sure that they, after running about 10 straight running plays in that last drive, they threw the deep post pattern, which is something they can do. But Burlington offensively hasn't looked that bad either. I mean, they moved the ball all the way down inside Stoneham's 30-yard line. So I wouldn't, even though it's 14-6 at this point, I wouldn't say this game is over by any stretch of the imagination. We're still in the first quarter.
And although, you have to write it every week, but I know Joe Dillon was saying in your article and your column last week that it's getting a little bit old. The same type of mistakes, being close but not quite pushing it over the top of the hill. And it's been a problem for them so far.
Well, the thing about this league is you look at the results and there hasn't been one big upset yet. Maybe tonight could be the night.
Here it comes down now to Lawrence, 15-20-25. He's hit there and brought down by number 21, Junior McPherson. Now, that's a football name if I ever heard one. Frank Broyles would like to talk about Junior McPherson. Burlington will take over on its own 30-yard line, first down and 10. Hannafin comes out to the huddle. He has his big offensive line, Holiday, Gato, Peters, Filosa, and Fitzgerald, left to right. The tight end is number 84, McGowan. The backs right now are 44, Cooper, 33, Lawrence. The wide right is LeBlanc. They shift. LeBlanc comes into the middle. It's that same tight formation they run. Strong to the right side. Here's the give to Lawrence up the middle off right tackle. He's met there by big number 85, Josh Mankey. The defensive end at 6'2", 226 pounds. A senior. Lawrence didn't get anything. May have lost a half of yard. It'll be second down and about 10. Hannafin now rolls to his left. He's got a player in his face, throws down the sideline to LeBlanc, who goes up, and it is incomplete. Defended on the play over there by number 24. That's Tim Flaherty. As Hannafin let it fly and threw it up for grab, and Mark LeBlanc, the sophomore receiver, was unable to come down with it.
Awfully difficult pass for Dan. We've seen him throw that a lot this year. Rolling out to his opposite side, going up against the grain. I think he put a little bit too much loft on that. I think if you asked him, he'd probably say the same thing, but a nice effort by LeBlanc. It almost worked out. Nice defensive play by number 24 for Stoneham. Flaherty. Thank you very much, Dan.
We'll help you out. I'm still learning these names as well. So they break the huddle. LeBlanc goes to the left. It's third down and 10. Bishop to the right. He's going to get double coverage all night long. The backs are split. Hannafin calling signals. Stoneham in a blitz. The draw to Lawrence. Perfect call. No, Hannafin still has it. He even faked me out. And Hannafin runs out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Run out there by number 85, Mankey. And I'll tell you what, that was a fine fake by Hannafin, because I think everybody in the house, including our camera people, thought that Lawrence had the football.
Except for number 36 there, who just bore Mike Kelly, Stoneham's Mike Kelly, who just bore right in on him. Forced the play outside, and Dan had a step on him, but he just ran out of room.
So on fourth down and 17, Shawn McGowan is on, the sophomore punter. And we have a whistle on the field. And we have a timeout called against Burlington. Number 68, Jamie Wing, coming onto the field now. Appeared to be the missing Red Devil, and that's the type of mistake that Joe Dillon has to be driving him crazy. Stoneham trying to make switches now. They think it's a timeout. There's all sorts of people running all around the field. Little Joseph Dillon's coming on, trying to bring water to the players. He turns around and goes off. And I'll tell you, that was quite a sight the opening night when he was here with his brother, and the two of them were absolutely soaking wet.
I'm sure there'll be excuse me, Dan, I'm sure they'll be a little bit more conscientious about keeping dry this evening. It's a little bit cooler tonight than it was then.
So Stoneham comes back on the field. Burlington's ready to go into punt formation. 53 seconds left here in the first quarter of play. The Red Devils trail the Spartans of Stoneham 14-6. McGowan now ready to punt the ball away. Back deep for Stoneham, number 15, Cunningham. Their big play man, so to speak. Number 83, Callahan, handles the nice punt by McGowan. Here's Cunningham, goes to the right side. Gets away from Bryan. He's in trouble, but he elects to step out of bounds as he was encircled by about 5 Red Devils as he stepped out of bounds at the Burlington 44-yard line. So Stoneham will take over with good field position. First down and 10 at the Burlington 44-yard line. Introducing the Burlington defense, number 77, Kevin Fitzgerald, and 74, John Urquhart are the tackles. 44, Jason Cooper. And number 36, John Killian are the defensive ends. 23, Bryan. 33, Lawrence. Number 2, D'Agostino. And 61, Gato are the linebackers. We'll have the rest in a moment. Here's Lehman now. Turns and gives to Ambrose right side, and he's met. No gain, nowhere for Ambrose. He's met there by the Burlington right side of their defense. 72, Big Mike Holiday. 23, Matty Bryan making the hit on Ambrose. 28 seconds left, clock running, 14-6, second down and 10 for Stoneham. Ambrose gained 0 on the play. Also on the Burlington defense tonight, number 12, Ian Bishop, number 15, Danny Hannafin, and number 25, Mark LeBlanc. That'll bring to close the end of the first quarter of play. The Burlington Red Devils trail the Stoneham Spartans by a score of 14-6, and after a pretty hectic start, Gordy, it kind of settled down to the type of game that we would expect out of these two teams.
Well, Stoneham is, as we mentioned all along, Stoneham's done what it wanted to do. What's impressed me is Burlington. They've been able to run the ball. They didn't get anything on that last drive, but I think if they stick to that, certainly the offensive line has been doing a fantastic job at opening holes thus far. Although they're outweighed by 30 or 40 pounds and even 50 in some cases, they have the people that can match up to Stoneham. Stoneham might be a little quicker because they're older athletes with more experience and have been on the football field. But I think Coach Joe Dillon, if you ask him, he'd probably be pleased at this point. Not pleased with the score, but pleased with some of the play, particularly on offense and especially on defense.
Just want to give a second here to mention the people who are bringing you the pictures of tonight's game. Working the truck, our director, Rich Fucareel, who's ably assisted by Keith Butler. The cameras that are high above the field, Paula Davis and Rich Kuna, and our man on the field, as he is every week, when we do the 3-camera shoot for BCAT, Mark Jones, and he really enjoys walking around with that handheld camera. First play of the second quarter for Stoneham. It's a quick pitch to Ambrose to the right. Lawrence forces it inside. He's looking for help. He's in trouble again, and he gains about 5, where he's taken down by a bunch of Burlington defenders, led by number 42. That's Mr. Mounsey, Rich Mounsey, 5'11", 162-pound defensive end, who's playing the right side tonight.
Once again, a big third down play. I don't know if you saw that on the last play, but Zaharopoulos laid a beautiful block on Lawrence, who did a fine job to get inside penetration. That really made the play happen.
So it's third down and 5 for Stoneham. They come out, they send their tight end Mankey to the left side. 24 is their wide receiver. He's lined up in a tight formation on the left. Flaherty, power I formation. Ambrose, right side, looking for help. Cuts back nicely to the left, and he's grabbed a hold upon and brought down by number 44, Jason Cooper. And a late flag comes in, which usually means some sort of defensive foul against the defense. Yes, and it looked like Cooper grabbed a handful of face masks, so they'll tack on 5 more yards, and Stoneham will have a first down again deep inside of Burlington territory. So on third down, Ambrose goes off right tackle for about 14, and he picks up another Stoneham first down. So Lehman brings him out again, a power I formation, no surprise. The deep hand brought it to Ambrose. He's a quick back, squirts through, and he's brought down by number 2, Michael D'Agostino, but not after he gained about 7 yards. It'll be second down and 3. D'Agostino, the young sophomore linebacker for Joe Dillon, making the tackle. Ambrose got down to the 18-yard line of Stoneham. It'll be second down and 3. 8 minutes, 25 seconds left. The tomahawk chop has now officially started in Burlington. Go Braves, and of course with Peter Smith playing for them, not a bad team to root for. Zaharopoulos now inside. You can't find him behind. Fumble on the play, but the whistle has blown a little bit premature on the part of the officials as Zaharopoulos just hides behind those big offensive linemen of Stoneham.
I was wondering how we were going to make that tomahawk chop connection to a team called the Red Devils.
We have to be careful. We'll have every group in the country looking for us if we make the wrong type of reference to something like that. 1st and 10 Stoneham now. They're at the Burlington on the 13-yard line. Zaharopoulos right off right tackle, and he kind of waltzes into the end zone for a touchdown as Mark Gato's a little upset because he had a shot at him in the backfield and missed. So it doesn't take long for Stoneham to strike pay dirt in the second quarter. 2 minutes, 14 seconds in. Zaharopoulos goes in from 14 yards out, and Stoneham has extended its lead to 20-6. We have to give credit to that offensive line of Stoneham, led by number 55, Mike Sweeney, a 232-pound center. He's their captain. They're also up front for them is John Rossetti, 265 pounds, number 58. 71, Al Lopek, 237. Sullivan's here to try the extra point again. The kick is up, and it is good. Correction, that was number 34 this time, trying the extra point, and he is unlisted on our roster. So once again, somebody from the other town is not listed, so we'll know him as the unknown kicker. Earlier this year, we had the unknown running back and the unknown linebacker. So as the teams come back upfield, the work for the Red Devils cut out a little bit more now as they trail by a score of 21-6.
I don't know if it's just the number or maybe it's just me, but Ambro kind of looks like Marcus Allen a little bit, the way he slashes and seems to find the holes, hesitates a little bit, and then he has that burst of speed up the middle.
And he looks like he has a fullback like Steve Smith blocking in front of him in Zaharopoulos. Not too tall, but very, very wide, and he does a nice job blocking.
Well, that's one thing that you pick up immediately about Zaharopoulos is he just throws that, I guess, what did we say? It was a 5'9" frame in anything. He really had that nice block on Lawrence in that big run. 6 plays, 45 yards, a little over 3 or 4 minutes. I'm sure Al Lani must think that's as close to perfection as they can get.
You know, it's amazing. The thing that has impressed me so far about the Spartans is their capability to move the football and move it quick. Usually a ground team chews up a lot of the clock, but they've been able to score very, very quickly, which puts the pressure on the Burlington defense as well as its offense. So teeing the ball up is number 16, Alex Ambro. He kicks it high and short, where it's taken by number 1, Nicoloro. He runs to the middle of the field where half the field is. The ball is fumbled. It's picked up by Mike D'Agostino running to the right side, and he's brought down there by number 81 for Stoneham, Chris Apolakis. Now, there was a play. The offensive team, of course, allowed to advance a fumble after it hits the ground, and D'Agostino, being opportunistic, picked it up and said, I'm headed for pay dirt.
As we know, a defensive team can't pick up a ball. I was watching my alma mater, Wellesley High School, play Dedham the other night, and sure enough, a player from Dedham went back to field a kickoff, bounced off his shoulder pads. A Wellesley player picked it up and thought he had run in for 6 points, but their officials waved him back rather forlornly, as a matter of fact.
It's going to be kind of frustrating for a high school kid. You know, he sees the pros do it his whole life, and here's his big chance for Stoddard when they take it away. Hannafin now has back to pass quickly, looking over the middle. Nice pass to Ian Bishop. Steps up and makes a nice move, but he slips and falls down, and he's taken down there by Stone number 24, Timmy Flaherty. Makes the stop, and Bishop, of course, the top receiver for the Red Devils, and he shows why. And one of the things about Ian Bishop, he's so dangerous after he catches the football.
Well, that's their favorite play right there. The little slant, the little button hook over the middle. Bishop trying to get something out of it, but he was swarmed under.
So Bishop picked up about 8. It'll be 2nd down and 2. Hannafin has them out. They now shift. They go into the strong power formation to the right. Lawrence, the lone setback. Hannafin on the quarterback keeper up the middle, gains a bunch of yards and drives down to the 35-yard line of Stoneham, where he has the Burlington first down. Gained about 13 in the play, and Hannafin again picks up a Red Devil first down.
I think that may be the second favorite play, right behind the last one we saw.
So it's 1st down and 10 Burlington. The ball just outside the Stoneham 36-yard line. Clock should be moving, 6:32 left in the first half. As you look at Coach Shawn Maguire sending the plays into his quarterback, Dan Hannafin. Jason Cooper comes out, Mark LeBlanc comes in. They break the huddle. McGowan, the tight end, goes to the left side. Bishop a little bit confused as to where he belongs. They shift. They have a triple formation to the left. Paul Callahan is the extra number 83, and the officials blow that whistle quickly as they were setting a screen up to the left side, and there's a timeout called quickly. And as we mentioned earlier in our pregame show, Gordy, it appears as though outside of Week 8, where Stoneham could be challenged by Melrose, that they're headed for a big showdown against Reading on Thanksgiving Day. A little premature to assume they're going to win this game, but in all actuality, they're driving towards that big. It's been a long time since Reading and Stoneham have met for any type of game that's meaningful on Thanksgiving morning.
Well, I think Reading had that long streak of 11 years, 13 if you're Reading, because I think we had that snow day a couple of years ago where the game was pushed to Saturday, and Reading, Stoneham won that one. So the Reading people still have the streak intact for some reason. But last year, Reading again seems to have Stoneham's number on Thanksgiving Day. Stoneham came in as big favorites last year.
Hannafin has them out, the same triple formation to the left. Hannafin goes back to pass, throwing quickly over the middle to number 12, Bishop, and Bishop is dragged out of bounds by number 21, Junior McPherson. The aggressive cornerback for Stoneham up to make the tackle after Bishop had gained about 9 yards. It'll be second down and about 1.
Looked like McPherson got caught in the middle. He didn't know whether to go for the interception or go for the coverage, and by the time he made his mind up, Bishop already had the ball. Nice recovery by McPherson to make a good tackle, though.
So Burlington again, deep inside Stoneham territory at the 26-yard line, second down and 1. Hannafin has them out. Backs are split, Cooper and Lawrence. They go into the strong left formation now. Lawrence, the lone setback. Hannafin now, the quick pitch to Lawrence, looking for room, and he's brought down, or is he? Where is he? Adams slithered through that bunch of people and is brought down by Stoneham's number 48, George Zaharopoulos, but not after he gained another Burlington first down. Moving the ball down to the Stoneham 18-yard line. So here we go again. They're in the red zone, as it's known as, and Burlington has had their share of problems this year inside the 20-yard line.
They seem to be keying on the left side here, which is really a testament to Filosa and Urquhart, who've been doing a good job so far tonight.
Young John Urquhart's done a nice job since he came in the first time, I think, a couple weeks ago. Here's Hannafin now, still that strong left formation. Hannafin takes it up the middle, and he drives down inside the 15 to about the 13-yard line, where he gains about 5, where it'll be second down and 5. Hannafin going right behind his center, Teddy Peters. Seems that the defense that Stoneham's playing, the 4-3, the professional-style defense, is open to the quarterback sneak.
Well, if they're going to give that to you, you might as well take it up the middle, and Hannafin's certainly a capable runner.
Hannafin coming into this game as the Red Devils' leading scorer with 29 points. He also handles the kicking chores for them, so that's why it's an odd number. Lawrence remains the lone setback after the shift. The quick pitch to Lawrence. They catch Stoneham in a blitz. Adam around the left side. He's helped by his own teammate, and he drives down inside the 5-yard line to about the 3, where it'll be another Burlington first down. He was helped nicely by number 61, Mark Gato, who put one hell of a block on his own man, Adam Lawrence, and actually knocked him forward for about another 3 yards.
Getting a little more interested now, isn't it, Dan?
I'll tell you what, the Red Devils have shown a knack for moving the football against every team this year. Now let's see if we can put it in the end zone. Stoneham immediately takes timeout. Coach Al Lanny, who looks like he's shed about 40 pounds since the start of this season, calls his troops over. There must be something he doesn't like to see here offensively. And with 4 minutes, 30 seconds left here in the first half, I know Al personally, so since baseball season, it looks like he's a little trimmer than he was in the midsummer, so to speak. But of course, it probably goes with working out with the team every week. And, I mean, he's big enough. He's probably in there pushing around those big offensive linemen for Stoneham every week.
Al's quite active as a baseball umpire, if I'm not mistaken, Dan.
And I'll tell you what, he's got a mean streak in him that won't quit. So if there's something that you have to say to him in the field, you better know how to say it, or else you'll be taking a seat like Bobby Cox did last week in the World Series.
Well, I think anytime that someone throws a projectile out in the field, that it's certainly a good case for the umpire to give him a...
But he didn't mean it. Not like none of them mean it.
Of course he didn't mean it.
So we have 4 minutes, 30 seconds left here in the first half. It's a 21-6 Stoneham lead. Burlington is huddled around their coach, Joe Dillon, as Stoneham now breaks the huddle from Coach Al Lanny, who has to be a little bit upset of what he's seen thus far this evening. The Red Devils have been able to move the ball seemingly at will here, although they have no points from their offense to show from it yet. Their lone touchdown being scored on an 85-yard kickoff return off the opening kickoff by Matty Bryan. So Hannafin has them back on the field in the huddle. They break the huddle. LeBlanc goes to the left. It's going to be a full house backfield. Bishop's in the backfield. They now shift where Bishop goes to the left. They go to that strong left formation. No secret here what Burlington's doing. The quick pitch to Adam Lawrence. Left side goes around the corner and drives down to about the 1-yard line, where Burlington will have the ball 2nd and goal. Making the hit for Stoneham is number 86, tri-captain Ryan Sullivan, along with number 21, Junior McPherson. Now, we'll have to get a ruling from the Stoneham people, but that may be J.R. McPherson, not Junior.
Maybe something we can check on at halftime. Very important for Burlington to get a touchdown here. Not a field goal, but a touchdown.
So Hannafin has them out, 2nd down and goal. Ball resting about the 1.5-yard line of Stoneham. They go to that same strong left formation. Hannafin calling signals, looking for room, driving towards the goal line. Adam Lawrence signaling touchdown. I don't think he made it. Hannafin got down inside the 1-yard line. He was being dragged back by number 75 for Stoneham, Big Rich Kirk, 6 foot 1 1/4, 258-pound senior defensive tackle. The ball rests inside the 1-yard line at about the 6. Gordy?
2 plays here to get about 6 inches. We'll see if they can do it.
This is not fun if you're a quarterback, because everybody in the ball field knows who's getting the football. They come out of the huddle. Hannafin comes up to the line of scrimmage. Big 71 for Stoneham. Al Kopek digging in. Hannafin calling signals, looks for the spot, dives over for a touchdown. Hannafin picks the spot right on the right side behind number 58, Mike Filosa, and the Red Devils have drawn closer by the means of Hannafin's touchdown to close the gap to 21-12.
Well, an impressive 55-yard drive for Burlington right there. Just took the ball, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 plays. Took about 5 or 6 minutes off the clock.
And the very important part about it was it came after a Stoneham score. And Stoneham was threatening to blow Burlington off the field, but now they're right back into the game at 21-12. The decision is to go for 2. Hannafin has them in an I formation. Matty Bryan in the game for the first time in a while on offense. Hannafin fakes, rolls to his left, looking for trouble, throws into the middle, and it's incomplete as Hannafin threw it into the ground rather than risk the interception on the extra point, and the 2-point conversion is no good. But more importantly, though, as the teams come back upfield at Burlington High School's varsity field, the score, Stoneham 21 and Burlington 12. 2 minutes, 58 seconds remain here in the first half, and the big test now for the defense to stop the Stoneham offense here in just 2:58.
Going back to the point after attempt, I think the first option on that was Hannafin rolling out to his right, see if he could run, and then try and throw it into the end zone if that wasn't available. Stoneham did a nice job of jumping out and denying him the corner. He had to kind of throw a desperate heave towards Shawn Maguire, who was double covered in the end zone. Not much of a chance there, but that was the only option right there.
So with 2:58, Burlington sends its kicking team onto the field. That means Danny Hannafin. Hannafin will tee the ball up at the 40-yard line, the Burlington sideline. A little bit happier now. They've closed to within 9 points, and hopefully they'll be able to hold this lead till halftime. Hannafin comes over to see Red Devil coach Joe Dillon. Back deep for Stoneham to receive this kickoff is number 15, Kevin Cunningham. Cunningham, their big play man, as it showed on the second touchdown from Stoneham, where he took a 37-yard touchdown pass from Lehman. Hannafin has the ball ready. Stoneham shifts back, so now Flaherty and Alex Ambro is back to help out on the receiving team. Hannafin runs up and puts his foot into the football. A low line drive. It could be trouble. Bounces off of Flaherty's hand. and he picks it up at the 15. Up to the 20, 23-yard line where he's hit for Burlington by number 42, Rich Mounsey, along with number 68, Gary Wing. Wing, a backup offensive guard, 5'10", 200 pounds. He's a junior and one of the players who hopefully will fill in next year for Joe Dillon's offensive line. So the Red Devils defense is under the spotlight now. 2:51 left here in the first half. And the Red Devil defense must come up with a stop here.
As you mentioned, Dan, it's extremely critical. They get the ball back. They could go in at halftime with a quick score. They go in at halftime down by just 2 points or 1 point.
So Lehman brings them up. The same power I formation, an easy team to scout. The quick pitch to number 32, Ambrose. He's looking. He steps up, and he's brought down by number 42, Mounsey, along with number 44, Jason Cooper, as it looked like Ambrose was looking to throw that ball a little bit. And you make the comparison to Marcus Allen, and sure enough, there he is taking a look down the field as if he may throw the football.
Was sneaking up his arm a little bit. That was something that I don't think we've seen from Stoneham thus far. A little gadget play. Maybe they're a little concerned about Burlington's defense here, as they well should be.
Ambrose only gained about 9. He started about 8 yards in the backfield. He ran about 30 yards to gain 1. It'll be second down and 9. The quick pitch to the left side, Ambrose. And he does look like Marcus Allen. But he's brought down by number 25 in the backfield, Mark LeBlanc, who made a nice play from his right cornerback position. A loss on the play of about 3. It'll be third down and 12. And a big play coming for the Red Devil defense. Clock running, 1 minute, 58 seconds left. Correction, that was the 2-minute warning. Coach John Driscoll quick to correct the clock here at Burlington High School.
Having the finest year of perhaps any Burlingtonian.
Lehman hiding behind the big offensive lines, back to pass, looking for Cunningham on the right side, and he overthrows him as Cunningham was open out around the 40-yard line, and his pass was incomplete. Defending on the play for Burlington was number 12, Ian Bishop. So Stoneham comes in, and as John Driscoll wants to get mentioned on the telecast, he tells us that Stoneham will punt for the first time, maybe. He's been reading that Don Shula book, as we said in our previous games. He's an idol. Don Shula is his idol. He's going to send it down to Foxborough for Orthwine. So they come out, and number 31 for Stoneham, Todd Miller. The big kick, it wobbles down, get away from it. Mark LeBlanc gets out of the way, and Burlington will have good field position at their own 47-yard line. Coach Atlanta just did a 30-yard sprint to try to alert the officials that the ball may have touched a Burlington player, but to no avail. Burlington will take over first down and 10 on their own 47-yard line. 1 minute, 45 seconds left. Burlington has 3 timeouts. So Hannafin brings the team back on the field. 1:45 left, second quarter, first half. Hannafin sends them out, full backfield. They will shift out of this formation. Bishop goes to the right, LeBlanc to the left. Tight end McGowan is on the left side. The draw to Adam Lawrence, nice call. Gets out of the way to the right side, 40, 35, and he's knocked down and out of bounds by number 15, Kevin Cunningham, but not before Adam picks up about 17 yards to the Stoneham 35, where it'll be first down and 10 Burlington.
And he got out of bounds on the play.
No, he did not.
He did not.
It looked like he did.
I stand corrected.
1:37 left, clock running. Shawn Maguire, the assistant Red Devils coach, the offensive coordinator, hollering out the signals for the Red Devils to hurry up. Hannafin has them in the huddle. The ball rests on the 35-yard line of Stoneham. Burlington driving right to left here. Triple formation to the left.
Just 2 timeouts left for Burlington.
Hannafin back to pass, throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. And actually, Ian Bishop made a fine play on that play. He got his hand on the ball as it looked as though Stoneham's number 11, Mike Lehman, was just sitting back waiting for the interception.
And he had a lot of running room over on the right-hand side, too.
So the clock stops on the incomplete pass. 1:07 left, first half. Hannafin runs back to the huddle. The Stoneham defense awaits the Red Devil offense. Ball's on the Stoneham 35. Second down and 10.
Excuse me, Dan. We may see that corner route to Bishop before this drive is over, and he's setting up on the left side.
Bishop wide left, Callahan wide right, back to pass, Hannafin. Throws the ball towards the corner for Bishop. He catches the ball, touchdown! Good, you had that one right, baby. What a call by my colleague Gordon Vincent. As Ian Bishop, 35 yards from Danny Hannafin. And boy, I'll tell you what, if there's a guy who had it right on the numbers, it's my man Gordon. And Gordon, you've seen that play before, and they set it up very, very well with the slant. And they're able to run that play, of course, the Hannafin to Bishop connection.
Well, just you could see it coming with Bishop on the left-hand side. He's such a good receiver, you might as well take advantage of him over there. It worked once, I believe, in the Watertown game. They tried it last week against Reading, and it got stuffed out. But I'll tell you, this is a ball game at 21-18 with just 59 seconds left before the half.
Burlington takes time out here, not to interrupt, Gordy.
Pardon me, Dan.
You had the call right in the numbers. That was a good call. And the amazing part is they set that up with a couple of slants to Bishop, and those two have been connecting all season. 59 seconds left here. Of course, the decision for Joe Dillon. I think it's an easy one. It looks like they're going to go for two. And a very important call because they can go in at halftime down by just one as compared to 3.
Also, you mentioned that the setting up the touchdown play. I think the run on first down was an important call. The draw play to Lawrence, because that made Stoneham creep up a little closer. When you have a good balance like that, and with a runner like Adam, that's available, it certainly makes the defense not sit back on their heels and just look for the pass. So credit offensive coordinator Shawn Maguire, and credit Coach Dillon for making fine calls in that series.
And Adam Lawrence's emergence the last couple of weeks has been very, very important to this team because now it makes the pass that much better because earlier they weren't running the ball as well as they have been the last couple of weeks. And the pass is even more set up now by the strong running. So here we go. The Red Devils are back on the field and in the huddle. They're going to go for two. Hannafin giving the instructions to his troops. They break the huddle. McGowan, the tight end, goes to the left side. Bishop also to the left side. It's a tight formation. Hannafin. The backs are split. Lawrence moves up into a wingback formation. Over the middle, and McGowan, the ball just deflected off his hands as there was a play-action fake to Cooper, and the throw over the middle to McGowan was a little bit behind him and just deflected off of his hands, and it was incomplete. So Burlington has come back from a 9-point deficit to cut it to 6 with 59 seconds left in the quarter. The score, Stoneham 21 and Burlington 18. Now it's again a test for the defense. Stoneham's been able to come up with a big quick hit on offense, and the Red Devils defense must hold.
Oh, you can't let him have a quick strike right here, right at the half. Burlington's got all the momentum right now. It's just been a terrific half. Stoneham looks almost stunned over there on the sidelines. I don't think they expected anything like this. The fans are just kind of sitting back on their heels as well. The fans that are here, but as a matter of fact, it must be a long trip from Stoneham this evening.
But they're coming the right way. They're coming southbound on Route 128. That's not that bad.
Maybe they figured this would be an easy game, and as it's turned out through halftime thus far, it's been anything but that.
I think everybody in Burlington expected this one to be a little bit easier for Stoneham than it has been thus far, and Burlington's done a fine job to this point. Hannafin breaks them out of the huddle. The kickoff team is on the field, back deep for Stoneham. Number 24, Flaherty. Number 16, Alex Ambrose. And number 15, Kevin Cunningham. Hannafin comes up. He puts his foot into the ball. And this one is a nice kick. Down off the hands of Ambrose. It's squeezed there by Cunningham at the 15, going to the right. He's chased there by number 80, Giovanello. He's at good speed, and he runs out of bounds at about the 20-yard line, where the Stoneham offense will take over, first down and 10. They'll have 51 seconds left in which to go 89 yards as the ball rests on their 19-yard line, first and 10. And now's the time to see what kind of passing game Stoneham will have.
I would imagine that they probably double cover Cunningham over here. And Sullivan is also a capable pass catcher as a tight end.
So it's first and 10 for Stoneham. 51 seconds left here in the first half of play. Burlington in that quote-unquote prevent defense. Moundsey's late coming on the field. They give up to middle to Zaharopoulos, and Mounsey met him at the 25-yard line. And for a kid who ran into the play late, he got a rude awakening to George Zaharopoulos.
Well, it's a good thing he got there because Zaharopoulos might still be running at this point if he didn't.
Mounsey made the stop after Zaharopoulos gained about 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4, and Coach Al Lanny is quick to call timeout, stopping the clock with 42 seconds left. We believe that Stoneham has 4 timeouts left.
I don't recall them calling one, Dan, so I would imagine that you got this one right on the money.
Lehman now behind center, goes back to pass. He's looking for help. He runs to the right. He's got all sorts of room. He's being chased by Mark Gato, and he's pushed out of bounds right by the Burlington bench. And we have a flag on the play. That's a terrible call. That is an absolutely terrible call by the official. He has no right making that call.
It almost looked like Gato was trying to hold him up on that play, Dan. I can't figure out what this is all about.
The Red Devil defense, the Red Devil team grabbed a hold of Lehman. We have a 15-yard personal foul penalty. You know, and to compound matters worse, if you look down the field right in front of the Burlington bench, the grass is all worn away, and the white line can barely be seen. Mark Gato, to his defense, is chasing him across the field and gives him a love tap of a shove out of bounds, and the official reaches into his back pocket and throws the flag. I know Joe Dillon wasn't too happy about that call. So Stoneham comes out now, 1st and 10 at the Burlington 43, 27 seconds left. Lehman back to pass, looking, throwing over the middle to Flaherty. He steps up, goes to the 25-20, Hannafin chasing him, and he's brought down by number 15, Hannafin, recovering after Flaherty ran a quick crossing pattern over the middle to move the ball down to the Burlington 17-yard line. Well, they have it 1st and 10, 16 seconds left, and I believe 3 timeouts.
Now remember that Ryan Sullivan's range, he kicked a 35-yarder against Woburn to win that ball game, so we're just about in that area right now. So Stoneham with a chance to put up some points on the board, as we just mentioned that Burlington could not allow them to do.
Very, very impressive, the Stoneham drive thus far. They've shown a knack to be able to move the ball downfield quickly. Flaherty stepping up into the play and making a nice move on the Burlington defender. They gave him all the room they wanted in the middle of the field, and Flaherty took advantage of it. So with 16 seconds left, Stoneham has a decision to make. Al Lanny talking over the other side of the field with his quarterback Lehman. Coach Joe Dillon speaking to Mark Gato, number 61, sends him back to the defensive huddle. 16 seconds left, and
excuse me, I figured that you would certainly be impressed with Coach Lanny just bringing his quarterback over instead of the entire team. I know that's been a pet peeve of yours in the past, Dan.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a breath of fresh air to watch these coaches play the game the way it was meant to be played. You'd never seen Vince Lombardi bring a whole team over to the sideline, and if he did, you know he didn't have anything good to say. So we have a strong left formation. Cunningham, Flaherty, and Ambrose to the left. Lehman, the give to Zaharopoulos, right side. Jason Cooper drags him down at the 12-yard line, and Stoneham quickly calls timeout with 10 seconds left. Zaharopoulos gains about 6 yards. Make it 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5. And now the decision for Coach Al Lanny. Do they take one more play at the end zone, or is it time to bring on the field goal team?
Well, they certainly have time for a pass over the middle if it's not caught, or if it's in the end zone. They don't have time for a pass that's in front of the end zone, and they may not have time for a run, depending upon how much. I'd say a run up the middle, they'd certainly have plenty of time to call a timeout and try the field goal. A run outside was a little bit more difficult, so you look for either a pass in the end zone or Zaharopoulos up the middle here.
Into the game, number 21, junior/J.R. McPherson. Lehman comes into the game. That's his first appearance in the game, McPherson. On offense, that is. He's a fine defensive player. 15, Cunningham. 24, Flaherty to the left. I formation, Zaharopoulos in front of McPherson. Lehman calling signals. A quick picture, McPherson. He's quick to this side. He's going for the flag. He's chased by Lawrence, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 1-yard line. A touchdown-saving tackle by number 15, Danny Hannafin. We have 1 second on the clock. Of course, that clock is not official. The official time is kept down on the field. McPherson, a very, very fast tailback. He is only a junior, and he probably is the heir apparent to Ambrose. We have a timeout to Stoneham, and now Al Lanny. goes into the page of John Barbaty and pulls the entire community of Stoneham over to the sideline. Coach Joe Dillon, not to be outdone by anybody, does the same. 1 second remains on the clock, 21-18. The ball rests on the 1-yard line, first and goal. Is there any doubt in your mind what Stoneham's going to do?
No. There you go.
When in doubt, kick it out. Stoneham is going to pass on the opportunity for 3, it looks like, and send their offense onto the field. John Driscoll continues to argue the point that Gato's hit was a late hit. The press box outnumbers him 5-1. Make it 6. Burlington assistant coach Dave Hannafin throws another vote in. Greg Ganley, the politician that he wants to be, remains neutral.
That makes it, what, 4-1-1 now?
First down and goal, 1 second left. Zaharopoulos and McPherson behind Lehman. Zaharopoulos the call, touchdown. On the last play of the first half, George Zaharopoulos goes over from 1 yard out behind his big center, Bart Parisi. Number 56, and Stoneham has moved ahead now by the score of 27-18.
Very fortunate series of events for Stoneham, not the least of which was the penalty. Of course, McPherson getting out of bounds with 1 second left. Had he stayed in bounds, half would be over, everybody be in the locker room, and Burlington would only be down 3 points. Instead, they're down 9, maybe 10.
So back on the field is Ryan Sullivan to try the extra point out of the hold of Lehman. There's all sorts of movement. The fake by Lehman. Lehman's going to run in the corner of the end zone, but we have a flag on the play. Obviously, we have motion against the Spartans, as there was all sorts of movement on the play before the snap of the football. Illegal procedure against Stoneham. They'll push the ball back. The ball will be moved back 5 yards to the 8-yard line. We'll make that extra point attempt now by Sullivan. It'll make it 25 yards, not 20. As Lehman showed a knack, and Lehman's shown great speed early in this first half as he took the ball and headed for the corner of the end zone, and he found the little hydrant Zaharopoulos out in front of him to lead the blocking. So now we're at the 15-yard line. It'll be a 25-yard, 1-point extra point attempt. Sullivan is on. The officials are huddled in the middle of the field, trying to decide something.
I think they're trying to decide whether or not this should be the end of the half.
And the amazing part about this discussion is the officials are allowing the players to sit right there. Usually, if there's a discussion to be made, you'll see them go off to the side and make the decision themselves. Al Lanny's out about the 25-yard line. He doesn't belong out there.
And he's not happy either.
There is considerable discussion still going on. We're trying to get a ruling from the field as to what it is.
I'm not sure if the penalty wipes out their point try, and this might be the end of the half here.
Apparently, it's not a 5-yard walk-off.
They put the ball back on the 3-yard line. We don't know what that is.
Offsetting penalties.
Apparently, we had offsetting penalties.
Coach Al Lanny pleaded his point to the point that he convinced the people in black and white to call it. Here's Sullivan's kick now. It's up and straight through the uprights and good. So, although it took about 10 minutes to finish the last play of the extra point after the last play of the first half, the teams head to their locker room, and the score at halftime: the Red Devils of Burlington trail the Stoneham Spartans by a score of 28-18. Sit back and enjoy now the sounds and sights of the Burlington High School Marching Band. So the Red Devils have come back onto the field, getting set to start the second half of play. Burlington trails Stoneham by a score of 28-18, but Coach Joe Dillon must be pleased, especially with his offensive performance in the first half.
Well, they've done anything they wanted to. Well, not anything they wanted to, but they've certainly had a great deal of success moving the ball on the ground. And that sets up the pass beautifully. I think that Coach Dillon has to be happy with what they've done. They had a fine play from their special teams. It's their first points from their special teams all year. Need a couple of defensive stops. They look good in a couple of defensive series. They had that letdown, not really a letdown, but a couple of bad breaks there at the end of the half, and Stoneham scored with no time left on the clock. Stoneham gets the ball here. The key is to stop them on 3 plays and out, get the ball with good field position. If they do that, it's anybody's ball game.
And the importance of that touchdown at the end of the first half by Stoneham was the fact that they will receive the kickoff here in the second half. As you recall, the first half, Matty Bryan opened the scoring up going 85 yards with the opening kickoff. Burlington quickly was ahead 7-0, but Stoneham come back on touchdowns by Ambrose, Cunningham, and Zaharopoulos before Burlington answered on a 36-yard scoring strike from Hannafin to Ian Bishop to make the score 21-18. And Stoneham scored with just 1 second left in the play. It was actually the last play of the first half. Zaharopoulos went over. I went into the officials' room at halftime and got a ruling on the confusion at the end of the first half. What should have happened was there should have been a whistle right away. The play should have never gone off. And what eventually happened was is Burlington entered the neutral zone and drove Stoneham off sides. And that's why Al Lanning was incensed, because Burlington had actually penetrated the neutral zone, causing Stoneham to go offside. So they called it a no play and decided to kick it over. And that was what the big, long discussion was about at the end of the first half. Hannafin has the ball teed up. 28-18. The Burlington defense must come up big on its first series of play tonight. Hannafin has it teed up. Back deep for Stoneham is number 24, Flaherty, 16, Alex Ambrose, and 15, Cunningham. Hannafin puts his foot into the ball, comes to Alex Ambrose at the 20, heads towards the middle of the field. He's being chased there up the middle. He's grabbed by D'Agostino and brought down by number 89 for Burlington, along with number 25, Mark LeBlanc, number 89 being Brian Segul. Sophomore tight end, 5'9", 161 pounds. So the Red Devil defense comes out, and they've got their work cut out for them tonight. They come out with the same starting unit, 77 Fitzgerald, 60 Peters, 72 Holiday, and 74 Urquhart. 42 Mounsey and 44 Cooper are the defensive ends, 61 Gatos, and number 2, D'Agostino. The linebackers, 25 LeBlanc, 33 Lawrence, and 15 Hannafin are the defensive backfield. The referees again having some sort of confusion. The communication is a little subpar so far this evening. And Stoneham comes out in that familiar power I formation. The give on the left side is Ambrose, bouncing off a tackle, twisting and turning and gaining about 7 yards out to the Stoneham 44-yard line, where he's brought down by number 77, Kevin Fitzgerald. Ambrose gained about 6 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
You see right back to that familiar eye bone right now. Left-hand side, Ambrose just dances his way up through 7 yards, easy as you please.
Again, power I formation. Ambrose the deep back. They give it to the up back. Zaharopoulos drives out over the 45, out to about the 48, where he appears to be close to a 1st down. Tackled there on the play for Burlington by number 2, Mike D'Agostino. The offensive line for Stoneham, number 84, Ryan Sullivan's the tight end. 86, Menke is the other tight end. They play 2 tight ends on the offensive line. 71, Al Kopech. 58, John Rossetti. 55 is the man in the middle, tri-captain Mike Sweeney. 72, Joe Lupo. And 75, Rich Kirk. The measurement shows 1st down Stoneham. The ball is at their own 47.5-yard line. Rounding out the offensive formation for Stoneham, number 11, Lehman is the quarterback. He has 24 Flaherty, and 15 Cunningham is his wideouts. And, of course, 48 Zaharopoulos and 32 Ambrose are the running backs. Again, the I formation. Cunningham goes to the right. He's guarded there on single coverage by Lawrence. The quick give in the middle to 48 Zaharopoulos. He runs over LeBlanc and dives forward for about 11 yards for another Stoneham 1st down at the Burlington 41-yard line.
Well, this is surely what Al Lanning wanted to start off. 2 quick 1st downs. They're already into Burlington territory, and it looks like they're getting good drive off the offensive line. Excuse me.
Young Mark LeBlanc just got inaugurated to varsity football as George Zaharopoulos pancaked him. A term that's very, very well popular out in USC. 1st and 10, power I formation. We've said it all night. Ambrolt, left side, looking for help and brought down by 61 Mark Gato. Traveling over from his left inside linebacker position to make this stop. Ambrolt gained about 5 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 5. Clock running, 8:13 left here in the 3rd quarter. Burlington trails by 10. Stoneham moving left to right here. Dressed in their white uniforms with the white pants, the royal blue trim. Again, power I formation. Lehman turns, gives to Ambrolt right in the middle, and he's met and he's dropped. Number 60, Teddy Peters, was right in the middle, as long as number 61, Mark Gato, making the stop for the Red Devil defense. Zaharopoulos lost a yard in the play. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
Again, we have a big 3rd down play for the Burlington defense.
Coach Joe Dillon calling the instructions out to his defense. Stoneham breaks the huddle. They send Flaherty to the right. I formation. Quick pitch. There's movement all over the place, and the flags are thrown. It appears to be illegal procedure against Stoneham. We'll wait for the official call from down on the field. One of the things we love to do up here in the press box is become officials. It is a procedure penalty against Stoneham. It moves the ball back, making it 3rd down and 11.
Bit of a break for Burlington right there.
Might change the play selection for Al Lanny here. Stoneham comes out of the huddle. Flaherty over on the right side. Power I formation, double tight end. Lehman now turns, fakes the pass. He's looking for help. He's being chased by Matty Bryan. He throws the ball down the field and out of bounds and incomplete, where he was heavily pressured. 77 Fitzgerald, 23 Matty Bryan, as Burlington came with an all-out blitz, chasing down Lehman.
Excellent read by the coaching staff on that play. They knew Stoneham would probably pass, keep Ambrolt contained, and he overthrew the receiver by a good 4 or 5 yards out of bounds.
So the Red Devil defense holds. And Stoneham will be forced to do what we think will be their 2nd punt of the evening. Number 31 for Stoneham is Todd Miller. He's a junior tailback. Oh! And Mounsey made some contact with Miller, but the officials did not see it to be roughing the passer. Miller just got it off, and the ball went out of bounds at the Burlington 23-yard line, where the Red Devils will take over on their first offensive possession of the 2nd half. 1st down and 10.
Nice play by Mounsey to get good penetration. The Devils have done that on just about every Stoneham kick tonight. Of course, you remember, folks who watch the first half will remember that Mark Gato had a nice penetration up the middle. I think they flagged him for an offside penalty, but still it shows that Burlington's focused and in the game and waiting for that snap count.
We told you all season this is a good product to come out and see, and they've certainly put on another good performance tonight. They now shift. They go to that strong formation. Stoneham has to expect this to be coming. Hannafin now. The quick pitch to Lawrence. There's about 12 Stoneham defenders out there, and Lawrence bangs out over the 25 to about the 27-yard line, where he's brought down there by number 36 for Stoneham, Mike Kelly.
Again, Burlington having a modicum of success running to the left side.
Well, Lawrence gained about 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Clock rolling with 6:15 left here in the 3rd quarter. They break the huddle. LeBlanc comes to the left. The backs are full. They will shift again out of this formation. Again, they shift to a strong left. Cooper, the fullback, has been lining up on the left side, as well as Bishop and LeBlanc. They give straight up the middle to Lawrence, and he gets nowhere. 68, the first one on the hit for Stoneham. That's Mike Novia, a 5'9" 220-pound defensive tackle. He shot the gap and was the first one to grab Adam Lawrence.
Tried a little trickery right there, and Stoneham didn't bite. They bit on it a couple of times in the first half, but they played it straight that time, and Adam really didn't have much room to run.
Lawrence may have lost a half a yard. It'll be third down and about 7.5. 3 wide receivers in the game for Burlington. Paul Giovanello, number 80, into the ball game. They shift out of it now. Giovanello slot left, Bishop wide left, LeBlanc wide right. Back to pass Hannafin, looking for Bishop. He's wide open at the 40-yard line. He drives out over the 43 and will have a Burlington first down. And again, the Hannafin to Bishop connection hooks up for another key Burlington first down.
Nice little sideline button hook. Bishop found a seam in between the safety and the cornerback, who let him go. Perfect pass by Hannafin, who just zipped it right in there between the 1 and the 2 on Bishop's chest.
So Burlington gives himself a little breathing room at their own 43-yard line, first and 10. Clock is rolling, 5:08, correction, the clock is stopped with 5 minutes, 8 seconds left here in the first half. Hannafin brings them out, sends Giovanello along with Bishop wide to the right. They shift again out of the formation, 3 wide receivers to the right as Bishop joins the other 2. Tight end McGowan is left side. Hannafin on the draw to Adam Lawrence. Runs off the right side, and he's just tripped up and brought down there by number 68 for Stoneham. Mike Novia once again, and Novia is starting to make his presence known in the middle of that Stoneham defense.
Well, if Novia doesn't make that play, Adam's got about 10 more yards to pick up on the middle. The draw play has worked very well for Burlington tonight. That was a big first down they picked up. Pick up another one. Now that they're into Stoneham territory, moving smartly here. If they pick up another one,
Adam Lawrence emerging the last couple of weeks as a workhorse on the Red Devils offense. Slot left, LeBlanc inside of Bishop. They switch now. They go to that same triple formation to the left on the strong side of the field. Hannafin on the quick pitch to Lawrence. Lawrence, all sorts of trouble being blocked there is number, oh, there's a late hit. We're trying to get one back for the end of the first half. Lawrence was run out of bounds by number 11, Lehman, number 19, Curran, and number 86, Sullivan, after gaining about 2 yards. It'll be third down and about 7.
I think poor Adam is going to spend about a week in the whirlpool after this one's over. He's carried the ball about 20 times already this evening.
So third down and 6 for Burlington. They're at the Stoneham, at their own 47.5-yard line. Hannafin brings them out of the huddle. Sends Bishop and LeBlanc to the right. The backs are split. It's Cooper and Adam Lawrence. They shift again. They go to that strong formation again, this time to the right side. Hannafin now straight back to pass on the quick look into Bishop, and once again, Bishop catches the ball inside Stoneham territory and picks up yet another key Burlington first down.
Looked like a professional play out there. Bishop knew how far he had to go. Hannafin just hit him, again, right between the 1 and the 2. First down Burlington, a huge first down inside Stoneham territory.
The ball rests on the Stoneham 43.5-yard line, first down and 10. The Red Devils are moving the ball right to left as you look at it. Third quarter action, they trail 28-18. Hannafin brings them up again.
Excuse me, Dan, just the beginnings of another good sustained drive for Burlington, something they've been able to do all night.
Hannafin now on first down. The quick pitch to Lawrence. Leading the way is 74, Urquhart. Lawrence turns it up the field. The ball is loose. The Stoneham people are pointing like they have it. The officials are going to the bottom of the pile. We have a flag on the play. Boy, this is a lot of fun, I'll tell you.
Whatever could this be? There's a
flag. Stoneham saying they have the football. Zaharopoulos comes out of the bottom of the pile with it. Teddy Peters looks a little upset with his hands on his hips. We do have a flag on the play, all on one play. Shawn Maguire is not happy. It appears that it's going against the Red Devils. But Stoneham has the football. First down and 10 at their own 39-yard line, and the big mistake comes back to hurt Burlington.
Well, we didn't want to jinx him by mentioning it earlier, but this is the first time that Burlington has turned the ball over, except for the interception. The first time they fumbled this evening. The penalty makes it hurt a little less, but still Burlington was having a nice drive, and have it thwarted by another mistake certainly hurts at this point.
We have a dead ball foul, a personal foul against the Spartans. Marches the ball back to the Stoneham 24-yard line where they'll have it first down and 25. So Burlington will start Stoneham in the hole, first and 25. The defense awaits the Stoneham offense. Paul Straddy in the game, number 52 at a nose tackle position. He could be in some trouble here. Oh, on the right side, Ambroth, and he's knocked behind the line of scrimmage. 25, Mark LeBlanc, the first one on the stop. He's joined by 44, Jason Cooper, and 61, Mark Gato. A big play on first down for the Red Devil defense.
Terrific penetration by LeBlanc, who's on the hot seat in the corner tonight. He's facing guys that are about 75, 80 pounds heavier. Just fought off the block and made a nice tackle. Went down low, hit Ambro around the legs.
Coach Joe Dillon hollering out the defensive signals to his troops. They want another stop like that. Second down and 28. It becomes very difficult to judge yardage with the stakes so far apart. Lehman now, the quick pitch to Ambroth, left side. Correction, that's McPherson. The quick running back up around the left side, looking for help, cuts to the middle of the field, and he's brought down by number 2, Mike D'Agostino, 77, Kevin Fitzgerald, but not after McPherson gained about 13 on the play, making it, gained about
9
on the play, Gordy. Gordy has the official spot, a 9-yard gain where it will be third down and about 20.
Kind of scary to think that this McPherson is just a junior and will be back next year. He's the second-string running back, and he looks like he could play first-string for a lot of teams in the Middlesex League.
He is lightning quick. And I would hate to be the man who has to cover him one-on-one out in the flats. He's going to remain in the game, McPherson is. 24, Flaherty, 15, Cunningham come to the right. I formation, Zaharopoulos in front of McPherson. McPherson's moving. The quick pass over the middle intended for number 85. I believe that's the big tight end, Josh Mankey. And that ball is incomplete, and Coach Lanny has to send out his punting team. So the Red Devil defense, helped by the 15-yard personal foul penalty, has held Stoneham on their possession and forced them to what we believe to be punt. You never know.
Something that you picked up on that last play, Dan, was the tailback moving. That's happened a couple times tonight, and yet nothing's been called.
Miller's had some problems all night, has a short punt. There's all sorts of Red Devils around it. It's picked up by Stoneham. Mike D'Agostino doesn't know what's going on. He takes down number 23 for Stoneham, Tom Petroselli. D'Agostino thought that Petroselli had ideas of running to the end zone, and he wanted to make sure that his progress was going to be stopped right there. So with 1:43 left in the third quarter, Burlington trailing 28-18. They'll take over with good field position at their own 44-yard line.
Always a problem for a punt coverage team in high school football when that happens. You got a punter that goes way up in the air with it. It doesn't outkick the coverage team, and the chances are that it could hit a Burlington player on the way down. Burlington was fortunate on that play.
First down and 10 for Burlington at their own 44. Hannafin now straight back to pass. Pumps and he's looking for help. Throws it long and deep down the middle of the field for Bishop. What a grab for Bishop! And he runs in the end zone for a touchdown! Wow! Ian Bishop on the first play from scrimmage. 56 yards from Danny Hannafin. And this Red Devil crowd has come back to life. Oh, Nelly, that was a beauty. "56 yards, the pass connection, and once again, Hannafin to Bishop."
What more can you say about Ian Bishop? What a perfect route. Got a step behind the defender. Made a fantastic grab. I think the defender mistimed his leap, but that shouldn't take anything away from Ian's effort. And again, a perfectly thrown ball. Hannafin dropped back to pass. A deep drop, which is something we don't normally see from Dan. Pumped once to freeze the secondary, and then let it fly. Right on the hash mark. Hannafin outraced Cunningham to the flag. And Burlington right back in the ball game within a touchdown.
The amazing part about it is Bishop beat triple coverage. And that shows you the type of receiver he is. Now the try for 2 points. Hannafin back to pass, straight back. He's in trouble, throwing to the end zone, and just off the hands of Mark LeBlanc. And Burlington has once again come up empty on the 2-point conversion, but as the teams come back upfield, the Red Devils of Burlington have closed to within 4 with 1:33 left here in the third quarter of play. The score, the Stoneham Spartans 28 and the Burlington Red Devils 24. And you know, the amazing part about it is Bishop and Hannafin, just an amazing combination.
And the good thing about it is we're going to see another episode of this next year. Ian's just a sophomore. Hannafin's just a junior. So they're just picking up a tremendous amount of experience. By the numbers, they're the best passing duo in the league. the leading receiver, the leading quarterback, and it's going to be scary what they're going to be accomplished for the rest of this year and all of next season as well.
I'm still amazed that Bishop was able to defeat triple coverage. It looked like he may have been interfered with on the play, and really, really did a great job to come up with that football. And when he gets the football, he knows what to do with it.
Well, you saw Cunningham catch up to him there at the end, but Bishop was already safely going to go into the end zone. It wasn't a question of Cunningham was going to be able to catch him.
Good call by the Red Devil brass. That was a nice call to come out with.
Play calling has been fantastic tonight. The coaching staff is certainly not giving up where I think some other people might have given up on this game.
So Hannafin gets ready to kick it off. The Red Devils are fired up. Hannafin puts his foot into the ball at the 40. It's a low kick. Bouncing on the ground, it comes up to Cunningham with the 15, 20, 25, 30 up the middle, 35, and boy, is he hit. Danny Hannafin just put a stick on Kevin Cunningham as he was coming up over the 45-yard line. And I'm telling you what, folks, there is some emotion down on this football field tonight. There is some hitting going on. There is some excitement down there. And if you haven't seen this game, make sure you turn it on the second time it's run because you're missing a dandy.
Just as we see the emotion swinging right back to Burlington, high fives on the bench, deservedly so. This is a very, very, very good football team that's playing another very, very good football team tough tonight.
Now the spotlight turns to the Stoneham offense. Power I formation. Fumble on the play. And we have whistles all over the place as number 11, Lehman, fumbled it. He appeared to cover his own fumble. 23, Matty Bryan. 77, Kevin Fitzgerald are all over Lehman as he fumbled the ball. He lost about one. It's second down and 11. Clock running at 1:10 left here in the third quarter. A dandy at Varsity Field. The Red Devils and the Stoneham Spartans going head-to-head the way old-time football was meant to be played. Power I formation. We've said it 100 times tonight. Deep handoff, Ambrose, nothing on the left side. A bunch of Red Devils make the stop on Ambrose. 25, Mark LeBlanc. 44, Jason Cooper. And number 60, Teddy Peters bring down the speedy tailback. Gained 3 on the play, third down and 7.
Terrific initial penetration. Mike Holliday beat his man, forced the play wide. Once again, we see Burlington just using that emotion to fire off the ball.
J.R. McPherson, Junior McPherson in the game for Stoneham. We have a whistle on the play, and that'll wrap up the third quarter of play. An exciting third quarter if you're a Red Devil fan. The defense has come to life. The offense has put 6 more points on the board. And as we go to the fourth quarter of play, the score, the Stoneham Spartans 28, the Burlington Red Devils 24. We have received an update from the Stoneham side of the field. It is J.R. McPherson. We've been calling him Junior for 3 quarters of this game. We apologize if we've offended anybody. We don't mean to do that. He's had an outstanding ball game for the Spartans. And Gordy, as we can start to set this fourth quarter, is a lot of football left to be played in Burlington right in the thick of things.
Well, immediately, I guess I've kind of overstated this, but another big third down play for Burlington, 3rd and 7. And in Stoneham's situation, they can either run or pass. Normally, 3rd and 7 would be a passing down, but Stoneham has a lot of confidence in their eye-bone, which deservedly so. I'm not sure. Ambrose has been coming out of the game a lot lately. I don't know if he's hurt. He doesn't seem to look like the same back as he was in the first half, ever since Mark LeBlanc laid that tremendous hit on him midway through the third quarter. But we're certainly seeing a lot of J.R. McPherson, as we pointed out.
And to show you the depth of Stone, they're able to bring in a J.R. McPherson, who looks like he's going to be a fine running back for the Spartans next year. The Red Devil defense is on the field. It's a big play for them. 3rd down and 7 as we get set to start the fourth quarter of play. Stoneham is in its huddle on offense. The Red Devil defense all fired up now. They've caused a lot of excitement in this field tonight thus far, and it's a big play for them right now. 3rd down. Ambrose, McPherson, and Zaharopoulos. First time we've seen that in the field. Back in there. Oh, it's Killian forcing the play wide, and there's we don't want this guy to get away. And he's finally brought down. And I'll tell you what, there was a bit of fear in this Burlington crowd. J.R. McPherson kept bouncing off of people. 34, John Killian, was the first Red Devil on the scene. And McPherson broke about 5 tackles. But when you have 8 guys chasing you, you can get yourself in a little trouble. McPherson lost about 9 on the play. It'll be 4th down and 20.
I don't know if the cameras picked this up, but right before the ball was snapped, the Stoneham coaching staff was frantically trying to get Lehman's attention so he could call a timeout. Apparently that play was doomed from the start.
On 4th down, Stoneham seems a little bit confused. Todd Miller into punt. Miller gets the ball off. It's a high, wobbly kick coming down towards the Burlington receiving. It's slapped by number 12 for Stoneham. That's Jason Flynn. That's illegal. He is not supposed to slap the football.
Now they picked it up, fortunately.
And Burlington will take over. Now, if you're Joe Dillon, there's one thing you have to worry about your special teams. Your people coming back to block for your people are getting dangerously close to the punt of Stoneham, and that could be a very, very costly turnover.
Well, hopefully Stoneham won't have to punt again because Burlington will go on a 9-minute march here and score the winning touchdown with less than a minute left.
So Burlington comes out of the huddle. 1st down and 10. The ball's at their own 36-yard line. They shift now to that power formation. Stoneham has a ton of people over on the right side. The quick pitch to Adam Lawrence. Number 74, Holiday out in front, and Lawrence bangs up over the 35 to about the 37-yard line. There is some physical, aggressive play being played down on the football field tonight, folks.
Just a comment made up here. This is about the best $4 you can spend on a Friday night.
2nd down and 8. Ball rests on the Burlington 38-yard line. They break the huddle. 2nd down and 8. Bishop is a slot left. All right, correction. They shift. LeBlanc now comes inside. They're back into that strong formation. Hannafin on 2nd back. Back to pass. Throws in the middle of the field to Bishop. And he took a pretty good hit by number 19, Richie Curran, and he was unable to hold on to the ball at the 46-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
Pass thrown just a little bit too high. Bishop, obviously, with his ribs exposed and his hands up in the air, had to hear the footsteps.
So on 3rd and 8, Coach Joe Dillon sends in a 3rd wide receiver, number 80, Paul Giovanello. Jason Cooper, number 44, comes out of the game. 8:09 left here in the final quarter of play. The Red Devils trail the Spartans 28-24. They shift. Far right is Bishop. Slot right is Giovanello. Back to pass. Straight back is Hannafin. He's in trouble. He's hit, and the ball is thrown short and incomplete as Hannafin was belted from the right side by number 85, Josh Mankey, just as he was ready to throw the ball. And the Stoneham defense has done something they haven't done yet this quarter. Hold the Burlington offense on 3rd down.
I believe that's the first penetration, the first hand they've laid on Hannafin tonight, which is really a testament to Burlington's offensive line.
So Shawn McGowan on for what we believe is his 2nd punt of the night. McGowan to put his foot into it about the 40-yard line. Hangs it high. It wobbles to the right side. Ball comes down. It takes a Stoneham bounce where it's knocked there by 72, Mike Holiday. And it's down, and Stoneham will have pretty good field position. At the the Stoneham 48-yard line, they'll take over 1st down and 10. 7:51 left here in the 4th quarter, and it's time for the Red Devil defense to answer the test.
And kind of comparing, we saw what Stoneham's punt team did. They picked the ball up early and got away. Usually the special teams will yell poison when the ball's in that situation, and fine job by Stoneham showing its experience.
1st down and 10 Spartans, power I formation, as they've been in all year, I think. Right side, Ambrose looking for help. He gets nothing. About 2 yards out over the 50 to about the 49-yard line of Burlington, where he's brought down by number 77, Kevin Fitzgerald. Help there by number 60, Teddy Peters.
Good job of bottling Ambrose up. He hasn't nearly been the factor that he was in the first half.
They've done a nice job slowing him down. Ambrose gained about 2, 2nd down and 8. 7:25, clock running. The clock is not the friend of the Red Devils right now. Stoneham has the ball and a 4-point lead. Cunningham to the left. Power I formation. Lehman calling signals. The give is to Zaharopoulos into the middle, and he gets nothing, or it appeared to get nothing, but he squirted forward for about 4 yards, where he's tackled there by number 72, Mike Holiday, and number 60, Teddy Peters. And Zaharopoulos is a very, very elusive man. You think you have him, but that low center of gravity is able to drag you forward for a few more yards.
Well, that pile was stacked up for maybe a 1-yard gain, and then all of a sudden at the last minute, there came Zaharopoulos squirting out from the middle for 3 extra yards. And they're 3 very important yards at this juncture.
Big play at this juncture of the ball game. 3rd down and 4, 6:34. And now we have a timeout taken by Stoneham as Lehman came to the line of scrimmage and didn't like something he saw. I just want to take a minute to give credit to the people who are bringing you the pictures of tonight's game, the people down on the truck. Tonight's crew is directed by Rich Fuccareel in the truck. And I don't know if it's a relative of him, but there's an Ed Fuccareel on the Stoneham Spartans. He's assisted tonight by Keith Butler. The camera's on the field. Mark Jones and Keith Butler handling the handheld down along the sidelines. And up above us in the press box, Paula Davis and Rich Kuna. And as always, they do a fine job bringing these pictures to you. Stoneham has a 3rd down and 4. The ball is on the Burlington 45-yard line. It's a big play right here for the Red Devil defense. A stop here, they could go back on offense with just under 6 minutes left.
You look at the Devils in the huddle right now. We just had a shot of them. There they are. They look calm and collected. They look poised. They look like they just make a stop right here, get the ball back, and let's march down the field. There's no panic. And certainly they played well enough to earn that kind of confidence tonight.
6:32 left. Lehman has them up straight I formation. Gives to Zaharopoulos up the middle. Breaks the tackle and drives down to the 40-yard line of Burlington, where he appears to have a Stoneham 1st down. The ball was squirted free at the end where 15, the ever opportunistic Danny Hannafin jumped on it, but the officials didn't see it that way. Stoneham gets a 1st down, a big 1st down for them, because it not only keeps the clock running, but they're able to keep control of the football. The ball's on the Burlington 40. 1st down and 10. Power I formation. Sullivan, Zaharopoulos, Ambrose the deep back. Ambrose to the right side, and he's tripped up and brought down on a fine play by number 60, Teddy Peters, as he shot through the right side of the Stoneham line and brought Ambrose down in the backfield for a 2-yard loss. It appears that Ambrose having a little bit of problem here in the second half. It seems that he's going backwards.
I think he had a little bit of a problem with Teddy Peters here, who made a fantastic play to shoot the gap. Defensive line has held its own tonight, as well as the linebackers.
2nd down and 13. A big play that the Red Devil defense needed at this time of the game. Cunningham to the left. The give is to number 21, J.R. McPherson, and that's the only way to stop him. Wrap him up with 3 or 4 of them. 25, Mark LeBlanc. 23, Matty Bryan. 44, Jason Cooper. All put the wraps on McPherson and stop him for yet another loss. Losing 2 on the play where it'll be 3rd down and 14.
Now here's a situation you expect to pass even from a running team like Stoneham. Players to watch out for are obviously Cunningham. Devils have something going for them in that they've done a good job of defending the pass this year, whereas Stoneham has not thrown a lot of passes this year. I think you mentioned that Cunningham is the leading receiver with 7 catches this year.
The clock now reads 4:44. Clock running here in the 4th quarter. Cunningham has them up in an I formation. McPherson's the deep back. The give to the up back, Zaharopoulos, and he goes nowhere. 61, Mark Gato, the first man on the stop for the Red Devils. And on 4th down, Stoneham will have a decision to make. The decision's a pretty easy one. Send out number 31, Todd Miller, and punt the ball away to Burlington. As we roll down, 4 minutes, 20 seconds left. The clock is running. Might be wise for the Red Devils to exercise a timeout here. What do they have to lose? They're going to get the ball back with just under 4 minutes left to play and a chance to go in for a victory. Matty Bryan back deep. Lawrence goes for the block, and he doesn't get it. Here's Bryan now, looking for help on the right side. 20, 25, he's chased by number 80. There's a late hit. If you called that one earlier in the game, that one's close to being the same thing. 81 for Stoneham. Chris Apolakis put a clothesline on Matty Bryan, and he was soon joined by many of his teammates, including 21, J.R. McPherson, to put a vicious hit on Bryan and knock him out of bounds. So the Red Devils will take over on their own 25-yard line. 3:55 left, plenty of time. I believe they have all 5 of their timeouts left. And here we go.
This was all set up by an outstanding defensive series against the run. Textbook defense. Can't do it any better than the Devils just did it.
Hannafin has them out. They go to that strong formation to the left side. Now they've shown a little bit of pass out of it the last couple of series. Hannafin back to pass. The quick throw to Bishop. Here's Bishop. He drops it. First drop of the evening for Bishop. He was guarded there by number 15, Kevin Cunningham. It'll be second down and 10.
I'm sure Mr. Bishop is going to be seeing a lot of attention on this drive. This is a big play for Burlington right here. They have to get something out of it. They don't want to be 3rd and 10 in a situation where they're forced to pass. They like to pick up about 5, 6, maybe even 7 yards.
Second down, 10. Once again, they shift to that power strong formation. Stoneham adjusts and comes right up. The draw to Lawrence, right side. He was tripped up in the backfield by number 85, Josh Mankey. Mankey appeared to have been by him, but threw an arm out and was able to trip Lawrence up, who gained about 1 on the play. It's going to be 3rd down and 9, and a big play for the Red Devil offense.
Nice idea by Adam right there. He went, saw the opening on the right-hand side, tried to take it. Fantastic play by Mankey, who just hauled him down.
3 minutes, 30 seconds left. Clock running. Jason Cooper comes out of the game. That means Paul Giovanello is in. 3 wide receivers for Burlington on 3rd down and 9. Bishop comes to the right. Giovanello's a slot right. To the left is LeBlanc. Tight end McGowan is on the left side. He stays in, throws the ball down the middle of the field, and Bishop once again makes a catch. He's out over the 35 to about the 37. We have a flag down on the right-hand side of the play. It's enough for a Burlington first down, but let's check the flag. Or is it a flag? It is not a flag. A first down and 10 Burlington, and Ian Bishop knew exactly where he had to go to get that first down.
And a nice job of holding on to the ball. You saw the ball pop up a little bit when he got hit, quickly corralled it back into his body, went down to the ground. First down Burlington.
The Red Devils kept Shawn McGowan into block, help out on the pass rush. 1st and 10 Red Devils. Quick pitch to Adam Lawrence, left side, steps up into the hole, moves up over the 39 to about the 40-yard line, where he gains 2 for 2nd down and 8. 2 minutes, 35 seconds left. Clock is running. Giovanello comes in. Cooper goes out. 3 wide receivers for the Devils. The Red Devils still have plenty of timeouts left.
I was just going to say, Dan, before I rudely interrupted you, that they still have 5 timeouts left.
Rudely?
Rudely.
You have never rudely interrupted anybody. You're a member of the media. Hannafin now straight back to pass. The rush is on. McPherson's chasing him, and he drops him down. The ball is loose. And it's fallen on by number 84, McGowan, but not after a sizable loss for the Red Devils. Clock is rolling. Timeout, Burlington. As J.R. McPherson, the man we talked about a lot in the latter half of this game, came bolting in from the right side and was able to take Hannafin down from the blind side. And that's with keeping the tight end McGowan into block.
Now the momentum shift rather quickly there for Burlington. Nice play. Nice first, really the second time that they've really got any penetration on the offense, on Burlington's offensive line, they being Stoneham, of course.
There is an object in the middle of the field, not to interrupt here, but it looks like a flag at about the 36-yard line, and that's what we had made the call on 2 plays ago, that we thought there was a flag on the play. The Red Devils have their work cut out for them now. 3rd down and 26. They, I believe, at this time of the game, they are in 2-down territory. With 2:01 left, Hannafin has them out. 3 receivers to the right. Tight end McGowan is to the left. Cooper goes in motion to the right. Hannafin calling signals back to pass. Looking, he's in trouble. It's the screen. It's set up perfectly. Adam Lawrence steps up into the middle of the field. He's got a blocker. 45, 40, 50, 45, 40, and down to the Stoneham 37-yard line. Adam Lawrence, and I'll tell you from up here, you could really see that play being set up, and they ran it to textbook perfection.
We've said it all night. A perfect call by Shawn Maguire and the coaching staff. Perfectly executed by Lawrence and Hannafin. They let the rush go in. They let the Stoneham rush go in. Dumped it right off to Stoneham. To Lawrence. He picked up a big block, and then he was off to the races.
Well, I'll tell you what, 1:35, the clock is running, the ball's at the Stoneham 37-yard line, and I'll tell you what, there's some excitement at Varsity Field. Hannafin has Lawrence, lone setback, rolls to the left, looking for help. He tucks it under his arm, he's going to run it. 35, down to the 30-yard line and dragged out of bounds, but more importantly, he stops the clock with 1:18 left. Hannafin on the bootleg, keeper to the left.
Nice play to calm things down a little bit. Didn't hurt you because you got out of bounds. Nice, I think it's about a 7-8 yard pickup there, Dan. 8-yard pickup.
What a great play on the screen pass to Adam Lawrence, getting him out of that 3rd and 26.
I don't know who threw that block down there. I wish I had seen the number to credit him, but boy, that was a terrific block. Right as soon as Lawrence caught the ball.
It was set up perfectly. Hannafin did a masterful job at deceiving the defense. 2nd down and 8. Ball's on the Stoneham 33-yard line. Hannafin was up the middle on the quarterback keeper, and he drives down inside the 30-yard line for a 1st down. And quickly, Burlington calls a timeout. 1 minute, 12 seconds left here in the contest. Nice. 28-24. Stoneham leads over in Burlington. The Stoneham Spartans came into this game ranked number 5 in the state of Massachusetts in the Globe poll. That includes every division. And they're in jeopardy right now with 1:12 left of suffering their first loss of the season to an inspired and fired up Burlington Red Devils squad.
I'm sure this is what Joe Dillon had in mind when he began the season. Although they've been in every game, they really haven't given in the last 2 weeks against undefeated teams. They've played well, but they haven't come close. It's certainly nothing like this.
Danny Hannafin discussing it now with Joe Dillon, Shawn Maguire, Ricky Arena. The whole coaching staff is over there, and they've done an outstanding job tonight. And they're a minute 12 away from pulling off an upset victory if they can put the ball into the end zone. Let's set the scenario. The ball is at the Stoneham 25-yard line. It's 1st down and 10. We believe that Burlington has 2 timeouts left. We could be wrong on that account. Hannafin's over discussing it with Joe Dillon and Shawn Maguire. This place is hopping. I'll tell you, they're just waiting for something to happen. And if it happens in the next 1 minute and 12 seconds, you're going to be able to hear it back in Stoneham.
Most of the crowd on the Burlington side standing. Stoneham just kind of in a mass prayer vigil over there, hoping that something good happens for them.
Here we go. 1:12 left. Hannafin has them out. Bishop to the right. He's got 2 people on him. I don't know if that's going to help. Back to pass. Hannafin rolls to the right. Looking for help. Throws to the corner of the end zone. It's a wobbler, and it's incomplete. Hannafin threw the ball into double coverage, and I'll tell you, Flaherty and Cunningham were guarding Bishop. The ball was tipped, and Bishop still almost came down with it. 2nd down and 10. 1 minute, 3 seconds left here in the 4th quarter.
Well, they made their one bid for the end zone. I think they want to try something a little shorter here, see if they can pick up a first down. There's certainly plenty of time left with 2 or 3 timeouts. As you mentioned, we're not sure.
How important those missed extra points loom now. LeBlanc goes to the right, Bishop to the left, backs a split. Hannafin straight back to pass. Looking, throws over the middle to Adam Lawrence, 20-yard line. Over to, and he's brought down by Ambrose. There's a flag, there's a face mask on the play, and the Red Devils will get some more tacked onto it. Ambrose grabbed a hold of the face mask of Adam Lawrence. It could be a major because he yanked the face mask, not inadvertently grabbed it. We'll wait to see the call of the officials.
If they
a nice little crossing patent to there. And if they've turned that volume off, Gordy, what were you going to say?
I'm sorry. We got a face mask. If it's used as the instrument of tackle, that's a 15-yard penalty. I don't know how far they're going to step it off. It's a 5-yarder.
They only called a 5-yard penalty, an inadvertent grab. But nonetheless, the most important thing that it does is it stops the clock with 54 seconds left. Timeout, Burlington. Hannafin comes over to the sideline to talk to Dillon and Maguire. The ball rests on the Stoneham 17-yard line. It's 3rd down and 2. More importantly here for the Red Devils, they must pick up the 1st down. We believe they have at least 1 timeout left. With 54 seconds left, people stay in your seats, don't go anywhere. This is going to be one of those Alcoa fantastic finishes. Gordy's all choked up here in the box. Correction, we have a correction on the field. It's 2nd down and 3. An overzealous chain holder flopped the down marker an extra time. The reason that it's 2nd down is on the pass, Lawrence gained 2. he was tacked on a 5-yard penalty. The face mask does not carry an automatic first down. That is the explanation that we're getting from the field.
Very good of you to pick that up, Dan. I guess you must be some sort of reader of sign language expert.
Second down and 3 from the 17. 54 seconds left. I'll tell you, stay in your seats. It's not over yet. Strong formation to the left. Hannafin has them up. Bishop to the left. Hannafin's going to keep it himself. He's got Cooper out in front, headed for the sticks. Turns it up the field, misses a tackle, and he gets knocked out of bounds. Close enough to the first down. We'll have to wait and see. Hannafin made a nice move to Shake McPherson, number 21, and he was able to get out of bounds to stop the clock with 43 seconds left. A first down for Burlington. There's the important first down that we talked about.
And we should mention that they're in a perfect position here, because if they were any closer, they wouldn't have enough room to go into the end zone. From here, they can comfortably go back, try and get Bishop open, or perhaps one of the other receivers like McGowan, who's proven to have good hands. Something that we haven't passed along the way thus far is that Dave Nicolaro was seen icing his hand down. An injury is sustained in the first half, so that might hurt the attack.
Here we go. LeBlanc to the right, Bishop to the left. Hannafin rolls to the right, looking for help. Nobody's open. Throws the ball over the middle of the field. Cooper, and it's incomplete. As it was just out of the outstretched hands of Jason Cooper, Danny Hannafin did a tremendous job waiting and waiting until somebody became open. He dropped the ball over the middle to Cooper, but it was just out of the reach of his outstretched hand. Second down and 10.
You could almost see Cooper jumping up and down, waiting for the ball. He was at the goal line.
And it was dangerously close to the hands of George Zaharopoulos, who almost had the interception for Stoneham. Stoneham is running scared right now. They want this final 35 seconds to go by so they can go home. But they have one problem first. They must contend with the Red Devil offense. 3 plays left at least. Second down and 10 at the 15. Hannafin has them up in a formation. Tight. Slot left. Bishop back to pass Hannafin. Looking for help. Over in the middle to the corner. And LeBlanc holds onto the ball at the 5-yard line. And quickly, Burlington takes another timeout. And if Danny Hannafin had put that ball just a hair slower, I think LeBlanc could have ran it into the end zone. But nonetheless, LeBlanc picks up 8 yards down to the 7-yard line, where it'll be third down and 3, 26 seconds left, and the Red Devils still, I think, have one timeout left.
We think.
Wow.
That's unofficial. Perfect pass right there. A little, as you mentioned, a little bit overthrown, but still, got to take an 8-yard gain. Now there are a couple of concerns here. Is the Burlington fans trying to get their fellow
Red
students.
Devil, go ahead, Gordy, it's your turn.
I'm all caught up in this, Dan. I'm sorry. Burlington players trying to get their fans and their fellow students caught up in this. This has been one of the most fantastic games we've ever seen here at Varsity Field.
I'll tell you what, it was exciting from the opening kickoff as Matty Bryan went 85 yards from coast to coast without being touched. The Red Devils come out of the huddle. Third down and 3. Stoneham doesn't know what to do. They don't know what's hit him. Hannafin, the quick pitch to Lawrence, going for the corner of the end zone, and he's brought down close to the first down. We don't know where he is, and quickly Burlington takes another timeout. Hannafin is signaling that Burlington's picked up the first down. The officials are saying first down Burlington. No, they're going to bring the chains on. That's how close it is. And this could be a tough one because if they don't, they get the first down. So it's first down and goal. The ball rests on the Stoneham the Stoneham 4-yard line. I'll tell you the excitement is so intense here. Hannafin's checking with the officials, a smart decision here to find out if he has any timeouts left. They can ill afford to try to call a timeout. If they don't have timeouts, Gordy, I believe they have to go to the end zone right away.
I think I saw Danny put one finger up, which means, in all likelihood, I interpreted that. You're the sign language expert, but I would think they have one timeout left, which means they can do something over the middle in terms of a run, maybe could make a couple of throws for the corner. 19 seconds left, 4 plays to do it, 4 yards to get. Comes down to this.
The crowd is on its feet. There are 19 seconds left. They are just waiting for something to happen. And if it does, folks, watch out. Because there's going to be an explosion here that can be heard coast to coast.
And the prayer vigil continues on the north side of the stands.
Here we go. First and goal from the 4. Hannafin has LeBlanc to the right. Hannafin rolls to the right. He looks. He dives for the end zone. Where's the signal? Where's the signal? The clock's running. Quick, boys, line up. Line up. We have a timeout to Burlington. It appeared that Hannafin had gotten in, and in all the excitement of it, they almost forgot to call timeout. Hannafin gets down to the 6-inch line, and now it's decision time for Joe Dillon. They've got 6 inches to go. They are out of timeouts. There is 11 seconds left. This game has had everything. I hope Rich Fucareel is doing a good job down on the truck controlling our volumes because we are out of control here. We believe that's Burlington's last timeout. Coach Al Lanny is in shock on the far side of the field. We have another timeout being taken, this time by Stoneham. Let's set the scenario here. We can calm this down just a little bit. There's 11 seconds left. This has been an outstanding drive by the Red Devils. They started at their own 26-yard line. They were faced with a 3rd down and 26. Somehow they get the ball to Adam Lawrence, and he really had the big play in this drive to break them out.
Yeah, that draw play and the penalty, the face mask penalty helped a lot. But it's just been a real textbook drive. I've said it a couple of times tonight. They look like a calm, cool, and collected, poised veteran team. Stoneham right now doesn't know what to do. I'm sure they know what to do. They know that they have to stop Burlington. But it all comes down to this. I mean, this is the number 5 ranking in the state. A probable bid, bowl bid. At least a chance at a probable bowl bid, but Stoneham has to be stunned at this point.
Very important for Burlington to keep their cool here. They must stay onside. It's 1st and goal from the 6-inch line. You know where they're going. I would say it's going to be Hannafin straight up the middle. Here we go, 11 seconds left. Hannafin takes it, drives, touchdown! Touchdown! Yes, touchdown! This place has gone bonkers, folks! I'm telling you, Danny Hannafin has just sneaked over from 1 yard out with 3 seconds left. And I'm telling you right now, the Red Devils are on the verge of a major, major upset. Touchdown, Red Devils!
Absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely. Look at the Stoneham players. They can't believe it.
I'll tell you what, Gordy, the people who came tonight, the 2,800 of them, certainly got their money's worth.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
But let me warn you, folks, there is still 6 seconds left in this game, and that is a lot of time in high school football. We are waiting for John Driscoll to put the 30 up on the board. We haven't got that yet. He's so darn excited, he forgot to put the touchdown on the scoreboard.
I have to apologize
Wow.
about Stoneham. Apparently
They have a 2-point lead now. They have a 2-point lead now. John Driscoll, our official scorer, was so excited he forgot to put the points up on the board. The Red Devils have a 2-point lead. They are huddled around Coach Joe Dillon and Shawn Maguire, talking about what they are going to do, whether they're going for 2 or for 1. They are attending to an injured Stoneham player on the field. And I'll tell you what, this has been unbelievable.
Again, I don't want to be the bearer of bad possibilities, but remember there's a rule where if a kick is blocked or a point is blocked, it can be run back for 2 points.
And I'm sure that's one of the things that Joe Dillon is discussing right now with his team. I think that's why they're huddled over there. If I were them, I would take the ball and I would put it in Hannafin's hands and run it up the middle. There is such a small degree of error that happened at that point that is what you want to do. You do not want to give them a chance, Stoneham that is, to run it back.
Well, if worse comes to worse, just having Hannafin sit back and kneel down, put the knee to the ground, because there's not going to be enough time with the kickoff to kick a field goal.
Wow. 7 seconds left. 7 seconds left. I'll tell you what. The people are certainly not going home disappointed now. The Stoneham people have all but given up. Most of them are walking over from the other side of the field right now. But let me tell you something, folks. Stoneham has a lot of people in their arsenal. Here's Hannafin rolling to the left. He gets a nice block from Lawrence, headed for the flag. He dives, and this time he's pushed out of bounds by number 21, J.R. McPherson.
And looks like Danny might be down over there on the sideline. Well, that was kind of scary, but fortunately...
Hannafin was slow to get up on the far sideline. They get him up. He's running off in his own power now. And boy, oh boy, we have 7 seconds left to wrap this one up and get out of here. Let's hope the Red Devils can hold on here. They have a 30-28 lead. And they're getting ready to kick the ball off. This has been an absolutely unbelievable finish to an unbelievable game.
Get a tape of this one and pull the tab off.
The referees are summoning the Burlington team onto the field. And boy, let me tell you something. This has been an amazing one. Stoneham. Hannafin's ready to kick off. He's played a whale of a game tonight. He generated the drive, 74 yards in about 10 plays to put the Devils on top. Hannafin getting set to kick off.
What do you do here, Dan?
Oh, you got to kick it deep. Give him the shot to run it back. I mean, I just don't think you want to set them up at the 50-yard line. Kick it low along the ground. That's a good kick by Hannafin. Ball's bouncing around the 20. It's picked up, it's fumbled, it's thrown back. Here comes the Cal State play. McPherson up the right side, and he's pushed out of bounds. 41 at the 41-yard line with 2 seconds left. There's 1 play left in the game.
I don't know about you, Dan, but I was a little nervous when I saw JR get the ball on that.
That's the guy you don't want the ball. Stoneham takes time out. They have 1 play left. I'm okay. 2 seconds left in the ball game. Stoneham's going to try something tricky. Burlington's going to watch out. We're talking about hook and ladder. We're talking about the Cal State Stanford play. I mean, we're talking a lot of things here. And folks, I'll tell you, there's 1 play left in this ball game, and Stoneham has a chance to win it.
This could be don't have a lot of options in this situation. The hook and ladder play was just mentioned up here. Obviously a corner route or a post route. Flea flicker.
I'll tell you what, it's not going to be a power I formation draw to Zaharopoulos, that's for sure.
This score, when people pick up their Saturday morning paper, people are going to be stunned by this score.
This has been as fine a high school football game as we've seen in a long time in these parts. Hannafin, LeBlanc, and Bryan are 30 yards off the ball. Down at I don't know if this is a good idea either. Hannafin is about 40 yards off the ball. Stoneham sends 3 guys to the left. Ambrolt, they send Cunningham. And back to pass goes the passer. He's in trouble. He's being rushed. It's incomplete. The ball game's over. The Devils win. The Devils win. The Devils win. They've knocked off Stoneham. Holy cow, folks. This has been an unbelievable football game, and pandemonium has broken loose down on the Burlington sideline. The Stoneham people are in shock. absolutely shocked as Burlington has pulled the upset of the season thus far in high school football by knocking off the Stoneham Spartans by a score of 30-28. And Gordy, I guess there's not much more you can say about this one.
No,
but an outstanding job done by the Red Devils tonight.
You just let the scoreboard speak for itself at this point. That's all you have to say. Stoneham came in here, put everything on the line. Both teams played a tremendous, tremendous football game. Burlington showed all kinds of poise in the last, 4 minutes of that 75-yard drive. Terrific plays all around. Just you can't say enough about this football team. They may have come of age tonight.
It certainly has been a lot of fun tonight. I'll tell you, it's a great job. There are so many people that you have to credit. But I want to go on record tonight. I think the group of people we should credit tonight is the coaching staff. Too many times when a team loses, they accept too much of the blame, and too many times when his team wins, they don't get enough of the credit. And I'm not trying to take anything away from the players. They did an outstanding job. But I'll tell you what, the job that the coaching staff did in preparing this team and getting them ready to play, and not only that, that last drive was as well executed and well coached a drive as you'll ever see around here.
I just want to point out something before we leave, that a classy thing that Stoneham quarterback Mike Lehman did. He went over and he gave Hannafin a hug and shook his hand. I think that's a real nice thing for a kid that's just been through a tough loss.
Well, I'll tell you what, tough loss indeed for Stoneham. They are a fine football team. They showed it tonight. But tonight, somehow, the Red Devil football team just got a little bit extra, and they closed it out. That'll wrap things up from here. A special thanks to Gordy Vincent. We had a blast tonight. I mean, that's as much fun as you can have at a high school football game. Special thanks to the people down on the truck taking the pictures. This has been a dandy, and if you haven't seen it, get a copy of it because it's something you can treasure and enjoy for a long time. For Burlington Cable Access Television, this has been a presentation of BCAT. A reminder, the final score, the Burlington Red Devils 30, the Stoneham Spartans 28, the upset of the year. It's been a pleasure. Good night. Oh.